Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it looks like we are live. Let me throw in this hat here. How did I forget that? Welcome back to another edition of the Mining Market Signal. My name is Seth, and you are watching this on the Mine Your Biz channel on YouTube. Without further ado, let's jump straight into the markets. And tonight the sadness, the irony of me getting the on-screen comments going and live, and this is probably one of our lightest attended sessions in a while. But this is the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Let me go ahead and refresh this page so we get a real-time view of what the current score is. Yep, still extreme greed. Why are we living in extreme greed? Well, people see number go up on Bitcoin and they become emboldened to think that this is just the new normal. So we kind of have to adjust our expectations based on those conditions. It's not that this is necessarily rational, but people start to feed on a certain energy, and we've hit a couple of apparently key indicators for people who've been kind of waiting on the sidelines to get in. And we got Greg saying hello in the comment section. Yes, we are live, guys. Just as a reminder, first off, if you haven't done it already, I want you to make the subscribe button absolutely explode, right? Blow that thing up. Click it and then slam the bell icon so you're notified when new videos come out. And of course, after that, you can leave a comment in the comment section, because this is a live stream and it doesn't require any kind of like a super chat. You don't have to be a member of the channel or a paid, like a patron or anything on Patreon in order for me to read your comments and interact. I love answering questions and I love seeing people help each other in the chat. So if you've got an answer for a question that you see there, go ahead and contribute, right? Lift somebody else up, guys. Karma is very real, whether you believe in it being a cosmic or a metaphysical thing, or just an investment, right, in other people socially. It is a real thing, right? What we give to others comes back around to us. So be that person, right, in the chat. Definitely love having you do that live. That's half the fun. So guys, Fear and Greed Index right now, though, these are not rational markets, right? People make decisions based on the news and on rumors too, right? Buy the rumor, sell the news. So yeah, what is affecting people? Why are they thinking this way? Hey, Chris Knight is in the chat saying, aloha, brother. Awesome channel. Appreciate you saying that. Appreciate you spending some time with us tonight. Thanks, Chris. But guys, this is the trend over the last couple of weeks. Also, I've been changing to Dark Reader, by the way. So this is the Dark Reader plugin. That's why I'm getting this particular screen to look so much more pleasant instead of being very stark white. And we're going to notice a lot more of the sites that we frequent on this show will just show up in dark mode. So that's going to happen in the coming days and weeks. Just be aware of that. But yeah, so the trend, as soon as we saw Bitcoin flip bullish and head towards $50,000 again and break through that resistance line, we saw that the greed rose in the markets. People, in my opinion, are getting a little bit overconfident. I view this as a counter indicator, and it's not that I'm saying like, oh, Bitcoin can't possibly go to say 80,000 or 100,000. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is that during these times, as people start to become more greedy and as the price continues to rise parabolically, and as we see certain projects that maybe don't, in our minds, have a lot of merit, grow in their market cap, it's a really good time for those of us with cooler heads to start thinking, strategically, how will I get out of my position? How will I figure out when it's the right time for me to leave this bag behind, or take profit here, or start doing this, or change my mining rigs from this coin to another coin, right? Those are the big questions. It bears mentioning before we go any further into tonight's live stream that none of this is meant to be legal financial business advice or investing, advice about self-defense, advice about legal defense, advice about corporate formation or structures, or whether or not you should file as an S Corp or you should go get a C Corp in Delaware. No, none of those things are going to be answered tonight. We're just going to take a look at some charts, take a look at some websites, and then answer questions about mining. I see Chris Bridgman in the chat saying, thanks for your channel. Excited to learn about mining. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, we're going to learn tonight as we talk about the real-time events during the live stream. We're going to learn about which different coins are most profitable to mine for different kinds of GPUs specifically. We're not going to look at ASICs very much, and we're not going to look at FPGAs, which are kind of more advanced for beginning miners. GPUs are something almost anybody can get their hands on when they're in stock. But almost anybody can put into a computer and they can make it mine so that it turns into cryptocurrency, right? And helps to secure that network. So we'll talk a bit about that in just a minute here. Let me jump out of the way though. Love that I got the chat going again, guys. You guys always rock it. You blow up the chat. Keep it up. And remember, sharing is caring, guys. Bring some other people into the chat as well. Got a new tool for us to take a look at. That is moneymovers.info. That's money-movers.info. And I'm really enjoying this. So we might get a few people who are upset about this in the chat, and I apologize in advance. You guys know that I love Bitcoin with a burning passion. That's why it has become part of my logo, is because of the ideology, right? The white paper of Bitcoin reads like 2 parts finance prospectus and 1 part sort of libertarian manifesto. It's really cool, right? It's cypherpunk and it is future thinking, and it's meant to help liberate people and empower people, right? And take power, draw lines as to how much power institutions and governments can just grab from people, right? And control how much they can grab from people. So that's what I love about Bitcoin so much, is that it is a format, an expression of freedom in cryptography and in code, and especially in cryptocurrencies, right? It's the king daddy cryptocurrency. So, so nobody take offense at what I'm about to show you next, because it may show you some things that maybe are a little bit discouraging in terms of what's actually moving right across cryptocurrency rails. So right now, this is called moneymovers.info, and it asks which blockchain is settling more value. And right now, there was a recent spike on Ethereum showing more total value. Why would it be doing that? Well, it gives us some toggles down below with this moving day average, a 30-day moving average rather, about like either the native asset and then stable coins running on top of these networks, right? I think it's not too big a secret, right? Stable coins run on Ethereum. They don't really run on Bitcoin. Not really. I mean, yeah, kind of in theory. USDT runs on the Omni layer network, but or Omni layer protocol, it's called. But nobody really uses it, right? Nobody really seems to know that there's over $1.5 billion of Tether on Bitcoin right now. And worse, not many people actually use it, right? Even if they do know, they don't really use it, because back in the day, it was more expensive to send Tether on Bitcoin than it was on Ethereum. Fast forward to today, it's exactly the opposite, right? It's actually cheaper to send Tether on Bitcoin than on Ethereum. It'll cost you $70 minimum just to send your Tether on Ethereum. It's kind of an interesting thing, kind of crazy. But anyway, I digress. We see that if we start to delete some of these other formats, right, some of these other ERC20 tokens, that it starts to bring some of that value down. So I just deselected wrapped Bitcoin. And it's kind of funny, actually, that wrapped Bitcoin is about, almost $750 million every day on Ethereum, right? So kind of funny. There's actually more wrapped Bitcoin being run on Ethereum than there is Tether being run on Bitcoin right now. So just saying, guys, these are realities. I'm not cherry picking these numbers. This is just real world on-chain data showing us what is actually being used in these markets, what DeFi actually means in practical terms. So anyway, so WBTC, we can remove that. We can remove wrapped Ethereum. And when we remove wrapped Ethereum off of the Ethereum network, we see it's a little bit closer, right? So the amount of Bitcoin that's moving every day, if we remove USDT and then wrapped Ethereum and wrapped Bitcoin from, USDT from Bitcoin, and then we remove wrapped ETH and wrapped Bitcoin from Ethereum, we see that it's a little bit closer today, but it wasn't just a little while ago, right? It's all the way back in May, right about when we made that portfolio, it was more than double that Ethereum was moving versus the Bitcoin. Alex is saying, mind your biz, you don't pay for burgers with gold, just like you don't pay for DeFi with Bitcoin. Sure. I mean, kinda. Yeah, I guess. Here's the thing. Prior to 1971, actually did pay for burgers with gold. Real talk. The US dollar was based on gold. So let's reevaluate that one soon, because I know where you're going with that. And you got to know that I agree with you to a large extent, but our monetary system has been so weird here since 1971 that, like, is it weird that I kind of wish we could pay for burgers with gold and Bitcoin? I mean, people who are going to McDonald's in El Salvador right now are paying for burgers with Bitcoin, digital gold. So, it kind of, it's not that we're playing fast and loose with definitions when we say that Bitcoin has this great store of value property, but then with a really good second layer like Lightning Network, when it runs and when people actually care to use it, it can be used for everyday remittances and payments and transactions and stuff. Like, it's usable that way. People just tend to not use it very much, is all. So John Ross is asking, does WETH make anyone else's brain implode? So yeah, it's funny. Who did I read on Twitter who said ETH? He's a funny guy, not so fast on Twitter. He's an old school miner who now no longer mines, but he says ETH is ETH and WETH is WETH in his mind. But I guess, is that a Canadian thing? Guys, tell me in the comment section. That's got to be a Canadian thing, right? Right. Let's see. Zek is in the chat saying, Mind Your Biz, you are assuming that the numbers on gold are facts and not estimates. It's worse than estimates at the moment. No, I believe you there too, man. That's the thing, guys. I'm not here to argue with anybody. I think that we do have a dearth of very good information. On-chain data, that's the nice thing about it. On-chain data doesn't lie. So let's take a look at it. Okay, so on-chain data shows, and by the way, your comments are back on screen. So guys, I really appreciate the thoughtful comments and the great questions and the thoughtful pushback too. I mean, seriously, guys, you know me. Like, if you've got a great argument, I want to hear it, and we'll talk about it. We'll hash it out. Womp womp. But yeah, so a little more parity between these two networks when you start to whittle away all these other ERC20s that are running on top of Ethereum, and you just bring it down to the base asset. See that? See, guys, I told you. I knew I rustled some jimmies there for a second, right? If some people who were just a little bit like, oof, a little bit getting kind of goofed up over what I was showing you there. But this is on-chain data, guys. This is not the current value of gold, and it's not. Yes, it is. It's not the current value of gold, and it's not some other subjective value of something else. Perfect. Thank you. But on that note, it's funny. A while back on my laser engraver, I created a Bitcoin wooden nickel just because I wanted to test my laser engraving skills. And you can't really see it there. I've got to put that on the website at some point. Just because, there's that old saying. Is it a Dutch saying? Or is it, gosh, what is it? Is it Dutch? Is it a Norwegian saying? Anyway, don't go taking wooden nickels, right? It's from the old world. Don't go taking wooden nickels. And I was like, what'd be funny is have I made a wooden nickel that I could just tell somebody, oh, this is a Bitcoin. Here you go. Have this Bitcoin. It was super evil, but it was a fun project. So you are right. It's very easy to mischaracterize something by saying, look, looks like a Bitcoin, or look, looks like a gold coin, or look, it's in the shape of a silver dollar, and to completely screw things up. Zach is saying it's definitely not Dutch. He would know. That's great. Thanks for fact checking me there, because I don't remember either. I had an old neighbor who used to say that a lot, and nice guy. It wasn't a scout leader, but he was the first person who taught me how to use a bandsaw when I was like 10 years old. Super cool neighbor, friends with my parents back in the day. But he used to always say that to us, right? Don't go taking wooden nickels. And we're like, okay, whatever that means. Sure. Wooden nickels. Got it. Noted. That'll come in handy someday, I'm sure. The wisdom of adults, and I just don't understand it yet. But yeah, the point is there's a huge mismatch. Interestingly, in the Intermountain West, there is a company that it's called the UPMA, the Utah Precious Metals Association, but they've branched out from the state of Utah to some other places. Apparently, there's some silver and gold mints in the state of Utah that are very good with making custom jewelry, making custom pendants, making custom coins, and then they went out of their way to create custom issued currency that has a gold foil on it that was approximately valued at $1 per note, or $5 or $20 per note. And they started to sell them in those denominations and got legislation passed in the state of Utah and I think Wyoming and Idaho. Don't quote me. You'd have to look up their website. But they got it sold in those states and got legislation passed such that it could be accepted as legal tender in those states. We don't hear about that here. We all want to talk about how Bitcoin became legal tender in El Salvador, but there are states here in the United States that have said, you know what? We don't like the US dollar. We want to use gold. We actually want to use gold. And they went ahead and issue it. So went ahead and issued that on their own reconnaissance. So interesting stuff, guys. So I'm not here to like talk down Bitcoin. I love that there's adoption happening everywhere, and the adoption story is important. But this is part of it, guys. We have to acknowledge, right? Eyes wide open. What is the market really doing? And I think right now, if Ethereum is being used the way it should be, right, as a utility asset and not strictly speaking as some kind of a store of value or you know, what do they call ultrasound money? Oh my gosh, that term. I'm sorry, guys, and I mine Ethereum and I use Ethereum, and I'm not like dead set against Ethereum or anything, but the way that is said, like, no, ETH is ultrasound money, it's kind of embarrassing because it's really not. You know, right? It's really not ultrasound money. It's a pretty decent set of like cryptocurrency rails to let tokens run on top of it. But I wouldn't call Ethereum itself, the base token, the utility token that powers the network, I wouldn't call it ultrasound money. That's kind of, it's almost silly, you know? Just to me, the narrative has changed so much too that I just don't know if I can believe that anymore. So, Alex is asking, mind your biz, what laser do you have? A K40? I totally do. Yep, cheap Chinese laser, K40. Bro, they are so great because you can customize them and you can do all the mods and stuff yourself. That'd be like asking, like, hey, you got a 3D printer. Like, if you said that you got anything other than a rep wrap, like, I would basically not respect you, right? Or like build your own parts and stuff. I basically wouldn't respect you because it's like, yeah, you're not a real maker. So yeah, I got a K40, and it's great. CO2 laser is great for hobbies like that. But anyway, I digress. This is the current state of it right now, though. So yeah, when we add some of these stablecoins back on, or even just some of the stuff that's more interesting, and people are asking in the comments like, hey, what's up with the wrapped Ethereum? That's making my brain explode. Let me jump in and do my best to try to take this from my personal worldview here, okay? And we can get some other people who can chime in the chat, of course. Also, guys, do what you do, blow it up. Let me throw those chats on screen, and we'll talk about this really briefly as well. So we'll add wrapped Ethereum back in. And you see, actually, just with wrapped Ethereum, it does bring things kind of over the top of Bitcoin for right now. Hey, Nextera Gamer is in the chat. Chris Knight is giving us some feedback on all the talking points right now, and I absolutely love it. Thank you. Ravenboy Crypto is here. T-Bone is here. We've also got Greg Moravik, and Joe Cosilla is here as well. Thank you guys for chiming in the chat and being so helpful. Ozzy Bogentech is in the house, and by in the house, I mean literally on the other side of the world, which is awesome. Absolutely love it every time you're here. Rican Soldier Boy, homie, been a while. Glad you're here. Says, liking the L7, but 20K plus is a very hard sell for something that's going to just drop in profitability like a rock in just 6 months. Dude. Truer words never spoken. ASICs just do that, right? They become like a paperweight for a while. And then if you're lucky, when the bull run kind of like comes back up, you're back in the money again. But you've got months or years where you're not sure unless you're on free power. So it's a risk, man. It's a risk. It's like Russian roulette. You never are quite sure if you got a loaded chamber or not. So let's see, who else do we have in the chat real fast? Do some acknowledgments. Chris Bridgman, again, thank you for saying those kinds of words from before. And John Ross, asked about before, talking about, wrapped Ethereum. I think we also have in the chat, who is it? John Germain. Yep, John Germain is here. So with wrapped Ethereum, guys, something that's important to know is that wrapped Ethereum is a representation of the Ether token, which is really not supposed to be used as money. The fact that wrapped Ethereum even exists is evidence of this fact, right? Or the way that wrapped Ethereum even exists is evidence of this fact, that Ethereum is not ultrasound money. Wrapped Ethereum is a token that can be traded and put into smart contracts. Ether, right, the ETH token, is meant to be a utility token that powers the network. That's the whole idea. We got, Crypto Mikkel is in the chat. Thanks for being here, man. Really appreciate that. You know what's funny is that I think I've got I think I've probably got my latency set a little higher than it needs to be. Let me just go ahead and just check if I can open that widget real time. And can I? I'm definitely like, I'm streaming at way higher bit rate than it needs. I could drop my bit rate like lower than half of what it is right now and be fine. I've got the overhead, I've got the bandwidth, so why not? But yeah, it looks like I'm not able to, maybe I can. Stream settings there. Nope. Yeah, no real-time change. Sorry, guys. I should probably go to ultra low latency in the future. I don't really need it to be on low latency. But anyway, just throwing it out there. So, yeah. But guys, we got the wrapped Ethereum. It's basically just a token that allows you to trade on the value of Ethereum, wrapped Ether, right? And Ether, ETH, is pretty much just it's just a utility token. At least that's how it's architected, guys. That's how it's supposed to be, and that's why we have the wrapped Ether, right? So you can put that into a smart contract, and you can place Ether against anything else that you might want to do yield farming on, or that you might want to commit to some other kind of a complex smart contract and do some staking or do some complex liquid staking across some other platforms as well. Right. And that's something I'm really starting to dig into is liquid staking beyond just like tier one staking, I should say, and layer one staking is being able to stake and then move derivative tokens and stuff. Kind of crazy. So, yeah. But yeah, wrapped Ethereum is an interesting thing. The fact that it exists is kind of weird, but it's necessary. And it trades in the same way that wrapped Bitcoin might trade on the same network. Oh, that's funny that it's something. It's not nothing, but it's not as much as people think. So yeah, that's crazy though. So it's right there. Alex is saying, mind your biz. If F is the 405, that makes Uniswap and OpenSea the Porsche and Tesla's powering down it. Yeah, that's pretty accurate, actually. Though, I mean, I might use the analogy of them being like the 18-wheelers with three carts behind them going down the 405, right? They're always clogging up the works. And so when you and I are in our Porsche or in our Tesla, we can't get around them. See what I mean? Like they're just taking up a bunch of lanes and going real slow. So yeah, yes, and I agree. But yeah, so there's a bunch that's going on top of this network. That's the big thing, guys. You add USDC, it's almost $4 billion daily. You add Tether, it's another $4 billion daily. You add DAI, it's another roughly $1 billion daily. And that's how we get to that figure where it becomes obvious that ETH is moving a lot in DeFi. A lot. But you look at some of the tokenomics of Ethereum right now, and man, it's expensive. Got Punday Replay saying, hey, Biz, got a question. We are live. You can totally ask your question. I might not be able to answer it depending on time and depending on the scope. So it might be our lovely comments section that answers that question for you. But I mean, shoot, ask. This live stream is for you, man. Do it. Let's see. Alex Burton is saying, so ADA is the off-ramp to the newest highway then. Oof. No, ADA is the unfinished off-ramp to what is supposed to be a skyway for flying cars that don't exist yet. But keep thinking that. Oh, watch this. Oh, not only did I say it, I also ghosted you with the ads. Just kidding. There's the chat. Oh, it's crazy. Anyway, so, yep. So Next Era Gamer says, yep, wrapped ETH was needed because ETH doesn't allow for ERC20 standard or something like that. Yep, exactly right. It wasn't designed to be used within its own smart contract system. So, yeah, it's a pretty crazy thing. So, all right. But guys, I'm really liking this little display here. When we look at other chains, here's how they compare. And we'll have to mouse over to see it. There's Bitcoin Cash, there's Ripple, right? So when people talk about like, well, Ripple is going to replace the traditional banking, it's going to be used for cross-border payments. It's like, bro, look at what is actually being used by the tens of billions of dollars right now. And it's Bitcoin and Ethereum by a mile, right? Like it's absolutely punching Ripple in its little, juvenile face, little like 5-year-old face. Come here, Ripple. It's like a child abuser. Oh, just punching it. jab, jab, punch, right? And it's like a down hook, right? Ugh, it's like slamming its skull in the face like some anime fighter character. Just saying. It's just not even close, guys. It's not, that's all I'm saying. It's not even close. Look at that. On its worst day, Ethereum is doing an order of magnitude. Ravenboy Crypto saying so much violence. Here's the thing, guys. I joke about violence, but here, violence is not a joking matter. Violence is serious, and seriously, violence is not the answer. Violence is the question, and the answer is yes. So, anyway, yeah, Ripple. It's just funny to see it compared to everybody else when people claim that it's somehow going to replace cross-border payments. So it's just not even close. Here's ultrasound.money. This is actually the IPFS version of the site, and it's kind of cool. It's just hosted on IPFS, DWeb link, so pretty fun stuff. Oh my gosh. Okay, Alex is daring me to show that on my next trip to BitBoy's channel. Oh, I could do that. Here's the thing with XRP. I tried talking to Sam from To the Lifeboats. Like Nerd Girl and I interviewed Sam last year. Cool guy. I mean, seriously, cool guy. We agree on so much more than what we disagree on. And the same is true of Ben, right, over on BitBoy's channel. But the XRP thing is where we just don't see eye to eye for sure. But yeah, Ben's he's a pretty what's the word I'm looking for? He's got a good sense of humor. I think he would absolutely just laugh it off. He'd find a way to roll with the punches and like laugh about it. And, we'd go point, counterpoint, and we'd make it work. It'd be like, whatever, a game of ping pong, right? He'd just hit it right back at me. So I can do that. I'm pretty sure I can do that. It'll be fun. But here we are on ultrasound.money. And this is the Ultrasound Awakening, the track for ETH to become ultrasound. And this is the weirdest looking thing here. Doesn't it look kind of like, it looks like a cicada or something, or some kind of ancient evil monster trying to come out of its shell, right? It's like, who has awakened me? I must go and eat some children or something, right? Like, are you seeing that too? It looks creepy, but somebody thought this was a great idea, right? They just did. They're like, okay, we're going to do the little like digital wings thing. It'll be like a butterfly. ETH is coming out of its cocoon, its chrysalis, and it's going to be a beautiful butterfly. But it just looks creepy to me. Just saying. Tell me in the chat, is this creepy to you or just me? Anyway, what the heck? How do we have no on-chain data? Ooh, ultrasound money, you have failed this city. Wow. Okay. Well, you're supposed to be able to simulate the merge. It doesn't work, right? Clearly, this is the problem. Again, am I just going to go poking holes in all the major projects right now? Maybe. We might do that. That could be what we talk about tonight. We actually have some other news to get to, though, so I promise we're not actually just going to do that. It's just, none of these things is perfect. None of them. Bitcoin is beautiful, and I love it with a passion. But even Bitcoin has had its moments. And that's true if you've studied the history closely. And if you haven't, and you just said, it's only going to be 21 million, and it's never had a problem, and zero downtime, and never had a day that's where there's been an issue, and zero hidden inflation bugs, then I just feel for you. You're just not reading the history, because it's out there on Bitcoin Talk and across so many other places, documented. It's not a function of opinion. It's just fact. It's just out there. So Aussie Bogan Tech says, ETH has its uses, but with a variable monetary policy, ultrasound money, no. I agree. Recon Soldier Boy says, looks like Kerrigan from StarCraft. Ooh, hey, +1 on that, Recon Soldier Boy. All right. Yay, there we go. It kind of caught up. So right now it's currently burning about 2.7 million ETH per year, right? Alex says, mind your biz, supposed to simulate the merge. Must run on Doge. Nice. Yeah, maybe, right? With these block times and this reliability, this site reliability. So currently it's burning about 2.7 million ETH per year. I think that they really want that number to go higher. And again, you've heard me talk about it on the live stream before. In my mind, I'm still like, what are we bragging about right now? Oh, right. We're bragging about having burned over 500,000 ETH. And to put it into perspective, go live here over to CoinGecko, put it down into perfect perspective. Let's even, let's round down and figure out exactly what that means in US dollar amounts. There is, oh yeah, a little over $1.5 billion worth of value that they've thrown away in front of miners instead of securing the network, and instead of setting up any kind of a legal defense fund, and instead of buying lobbyists to go create better laws surrounding cryptocurrencies, and instead of going and creating some kind of a mining enclave somewhere throughout the world to be able to secure the network better, and instead of going and contributing to political causes that would actually make cryptocurrency legal and secure a future for their network so that it doesn't get shut down in 2 years when Gary Gensler decides, you know what, Ethereum really is a security. It's so incredibly short-sighted, and most of it, I think, was actually done to spite miners. So I'm gonna die on that hill, guys. Maybe. Oh, can I say that on YouTube? Well, the stream is still going, right? So apparently I can. Chris Knight drops a $10 tip in the chat. Thank you so much, Chris. That was so generous. Really appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, I take some issue with the folks who are the diehard ETH loyalists bragging about this. They're bragging about this. They actually think that this is admirable. They actually think this is good. To have taken a coin emission that was already on a schedule from before and to have intentionally interrupted it, circumvented it, to burn it, instead of saying, you know what, we'll circumvent it and we want to wean miners off of the block reward and, whatever. It's not going to go to proof of stake people, but we're going to wean miners off the block reward and set up this development fund, right? For new projects, right? It'll be like a launch pad. It'll be like an incubator for brand new development talent to come over to Ethereum so that we don't lose them all to Solana like they did, or to Polkadot like they did, or now to Avalanche and to Polygon, right? Matic. They take all their skills from Ethereum and Solidity and they go over to these new networks that are faster and cheaper. No. Instead, we're just going to burn $1.5 billion. Sorry, $1.7 billion. Guys, it's so much. At those levels, right? That extra, $250 million. That's $250 million. Depending on how you live, and if you live relatively, conservatively, like I do, somewhat frugally, then $250 million, you could not spend that in your lifetime and get your kids to spend it in your lifetime by living a typical life, right? That's a lot of money. And that was just the rounding error of what I just said. By accidentally saying $1.5 billion instead of $1.7 million, the amount they actually, $1 billion, the amount they're actually burning right now. And they're like, well, you know what? We're finally not being so wasteful. Look at those miners wasting all this stuff. They're wasting Ethereum by mining. Well, you can't have that Ethereum anymore because you're wasting it, miners. Ugh. Gross. Anyway, I can't be made to understand this, guys. And I've said it before. I'll continue to say it. I cannot be made to understand this. It doesn't make sense. Bangin' Turf is in the house saying, love you, bro. Got to be up at 4 a.m., so I'm going to watch your stream at work. Bless. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for hanging with us. Thank you for being here live. And thank you for fighting the good fight, man. Keep on keeping on. It can be rough sometimes. So appreciate you being here. For sure. So that's the burn right now. They talk about the merge at this point, the supply growth still being positive, but then through the magic of imagination, we're going to flip the switch and simulate the merge. Are you ready? Ready? Put on your imagination hats, because this is what will happen when we see the merge. It will definitely go deflationary. Oh yeah. ETH will definitely no longer inflate. We know this for sure. You know why? Because front running and flash bots and DeFi and NFTs, they'll all just go away. And all these people who push to try to get their trades in, the Uniswaps and the Sushi Swaps and all of the private trading hedge funds, all those guys that pay top dollar to get their trades in first, they're just going to stop. They're going to give up. They're going to say, you know what? Enough is enough. We got to pay our fair share like everybody else. And enough is enough, so we're going to stop. Because Ethereum needs to be ultrasound money. We're doing our part. That's how it's going to go, guys. Just you wait and see. Those ETH developers, they will be vindicated. Just you wait. Just you wait. It'll play out just about like that. So, yeah. I guess I'm only bringing this site back up maybe to just make fun of it. Maybe I shouldn't do it anymore because all it does is make me fiery and upset. Every time I see this website, I'm like, why does this exist? It seems like a lie. It's just like the cake in Portal. It's a lie. Anyway, guys, let's talk about some of our news items right now. Actually, before we do, I do have a little bit of personal announcement that I wanted to bring up live on stream. Some stuff is happening on the mineyourbiz website. I'll be really, really brief here, but I want to talk to you about some of the current events that I think are kind of important and they have a bit of a chilling effect on privacy. That's a big deal to me. It's very important to me. He says while showing his face on camera to thousands of strangers on the internet. But the point is, when I'm not otherwise showing my face to thousands of strangers on the internet, I'm not showing my rear end or anything, right? I'm not like, this isn't OnlyFans, right? Let's be real, okay? I like preserving my privacy through encrypted chat applications. The conversations that I have with my wife, with my kids, with my friends, and with my neighbors even. Yes, actually my neighbors. When they want to text me, I get them using Session if I can. And if they are unwilling to try Session, I get them using Signal. And if they're unwilling to try Signal, I get them at least using Telegram. I get them off of their typical SMS and voice call applications. It's a pretty big deal for me, right? And I feel good about having sort of air quotes converted a few people in my sphere of influence to this lifestyle, including my own mom, right? My own mom now generally hits me up on Signal, not on clear text. Like, I'm going to be helping her out with something at the house. Like, I think we're building some raised beds before next planting season. And she's been talking to me about the project and all the details of that project on Signal. So, hey, I'm just saying, if my mom can get into this whole like way of life with enhanced privacy, anybody can do this. All right. So that's pretty important to me. And so I've got, as you know, on the main website, we've got the Mind Your Biz phone. We just were able to do an update to the site. So we now have a new cart that is just a little bit nicer, right? It lets you just sort through the two different models that you might want to get, and then choose whether you want that new in box or renewed, and updates the price depending on what you choose. But there's actually a cooler thing than that. And I feel especially good about this. If you feel like me really strongly about privacy, and if you feel really strong about this sort of thing, you can become an affiliate. If you really, really want to, you can become an affiliate for the website, and you can make recommendations for things like the Mind Your Biz phone or like anything else that we have on the site. And you can receive a little bit of a kickback for promoting the privacy and cryptocurrency centric life. So I feel good about that. I wanted to be able to do this, but I needed to prove that this product actually mattered and that people actually wanted it. And now we are getting orders in on the regular. But here's the thing. I don't feel good enough about that. Like, here's the thing. That, and I'll be doing this soon. That I'm happy to share with you as much as I can about this ecosystem. There will always be people who, unlike many of you watching right now, who are unwilling to, or just don't know how to install this sort of thing on their own phone, or, be able to install Linux on their own laptop or on their own desktop, or install security applications, or decrease the amount of telemetry going on their machine. And so they will need something like this done for them. And if that's the case, man, people that I don't know. And if you are referring them over to try out this thing, I don't feel good about just like accepting the full amount of any, profit margin that's left over at the end. I want to share that. So if you guys feel strongly about that, you can join me in promoting some of these products. Whatever, up to you. But that's now an option, was an option before. I got Stefan in the chat asking, Mind Your Biz, do you have Twitter? Yes, I do. And I think, I don't know, is that available do I have that in the description of the video? Because I thought I did, but you know what? I redid my descriptions recently, and maybe I don't actually have that available in the description of the video. See if we get feedback here for a second. I'm going to check live and look at my description. Come on now. Come on now. Recently, and maybe I don't. Yeah, there you go. We did get a little feedback. Just a little bit of feedback on that as we came back to live over here. But okay, looking at my description, and sure enough, hey, good point. I do not have Twitter listed in my descriptions. Sorry about that. It's just mineyour_biz on Twitter. So you can find me there. I will add that to the descriptions of these videos so that it's not so hard to find next time. Thanks for asking. Yeah. Yeah. T-Bone Gaming, for a friendly hello, I'll shield the phone. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. So it's pretty cool. We got so many questions coming, guys. Here's what I'm going to do. So chat, do your thing because you're awesome, and try to answer as many questions as you can. I'm going to move this out of the way because that is not the news. This is. The headline is that a U.S. nuclear engineer and his wife were charged over the sale of naval secrets for crypto. And apparently they'd received $100,000 in Monero before they were arrested by the FBI and NCIS, according to the criminal complaint. Here's the real headline, though, and here's what this does not say at CoinDesk, right? What it does not say is that this was functionally a sting. So the question is, why did it have to be Monero? Well, because this is just my opinion, but my opinion on this whole thing is that it became Monero because you have NCIS, you have the FBI, and you have other three-letter organizations and federal organizations that are very interested in trying to create an environment and legal precedent that makes cryptocurrency look bad, and worse, makes private by default cryptocurrencies look like the devil, right? So it's like, okay, well, if Bitcoin is bad, if Bitcoin is for criminals, then Monero is for hardened criminals. It looks pretty bad. Let me jump out of the way here because we got some folks coming in. Gordon Murray is just joining the chat. Appreciate you being here, man. But right here, yeah. So the CoinDesk article is linked down in the description of this video, guys, as we do with every article that we cover on the show. It's linked down in the description of this video. This is on CoinDesk under their policy tab. So yeah. Yep. So apparently a nuclear engineer that was employed by the Department of the Navy, and then his wife, and then, yeah, they were charged with attempting to sell restricted data to an undercover government agent in exchange for privacy-centric crypto Monero. So they set up the sting. They set up the sting with Monero, right? They didn't even tell the couple that it's like, oh yeah, we're going to pay you in Bitcoin. They set the whole thing up from Monero from the get-go. So yeah. And Alex Burton brings up a really good point. He says, what about cash? Criminals never deal in cash, right? Yeah, no, never. Here's the funny thing, right? Like we all know, like being in this space, like we are familiar enough with these numbers, but many people don't know that by the numbers, cash is still used as the number one currency, and not even just cash, US dollars, the number one currency in crime, like internationally. And it's not even close, right? It's like an order of magnitude more US dollars that are used in crime all over the world, right? Not even just here in the United States. They're used in crime all over the place because they're easy to hand around. They're easy to hand off to somebody else. They're accepted almost everywhere. You can go someplace to have them exchanged for other local currencies, right? You can get yourself some euro, get yourself some pounds, get yourself, wherever you are in the world, right? You can definitely go to a change desk that gives you the local currency in exchange for the US dollar, right? It travels really well. So criminals love it. They love it because the US dollar is just like, it's your ticket, right? You go anywhere else in the world and they're like, I don't know. Where's your passport? Well, I've got 2 passports and they're both named Benjamin. Gonna let me in? And the answer is almost always yes, right? Money talks. The US dollar is great at greasing the wheels. So yeah, it's just so frustrating. So frustrating they had to go there. It's like, okay, you couldn't have just offered them cash, right? You had to make it Monero because it wasn't these people who were on trial, right? It wasn't these people that the FBI was trying to catch. It wasn't at all. It was Monero they were trying to catch. Monero is the criminal in this little saga, right? In this little narrative. Just crazy. Yeah. Alex Burton slips in a that's what she said joke. Always appropriate. It's never not appropriate. Keep on going, chat. This is the entertainment we're here for. So, yeah. Like, Chris brings up a great point, sort of like, hey, it's not gold, right? That's literally the only form of currency that I think would be, difficult, a hard sell in this kind of scenario, right? Where it's like, okay, we're gonna give you $50,000 worth of gold. It's like, how much weight is that? How much weight is that in the current? I think it's literally 1 kilo of gold that was just surpassed by 1 Bitcoin right now. Is that about right? Oh my gosh, guys! Now I got to look it up live. I need to know. Price per kilo of gold. And we're using DuckDuckGo because Google is the devil. Alrighty. Gold, price per kilo. I love that it's available, right? Price per kilo. What do we got here? You see that? All right. Yeah, no. 1 kilo of gold is approximately, it's almost got price parity with 1 Bitcoin right now. Isn't that crazy? So anyway, like, yeah, but I mean, I do not want to haul around a kilo of gold for all of my crimes, right? Just saying. That'd be a lot of gold to haul around. I don't do that many crimes though. So like, I don't know how many of those 1 kilo bars I'd have to carry around. It wouldn't be that many. It'd be like the fraction of a fraction. Let's just be very, very real. I obey every law, all of them. And you should too. Let's see. Alex says, at least you can send gold in the mail. It's true. You can totally send it in the mail, and it will definitely go to its destination. Oof. Gordon Murray is saying, did you see that Google is issuing hardware private keys to certain individuals? I did not know that. Now I got to look that up too. This is breaking. Google hardware private keys. What do we got here? All right. Looks like the Titan security key, huh? Is that right? Well, looks like maybe there is something else going on here. Verifying hardware back. Nope. Key pairs with key attestation. That's for Android developers. I don't totally know where that thread will lead us, but I'm really curious. Gordon, asking about like Google issuing hardware private keys to certain individuals. I think that's a really cool thing. Hopefully it's something that is legitimate cryptography with legitimate protection instead of being some kind of a boondongle. Get it? It's a hardware key and it's kind of a boondoggle. Huh? This is lost on our audience. It's boomer level jokes. Sorry, guys. So that's the news. But again, between the lines, you and I both know it has nothing to do with this couple, and it has nothing to do with naval secrets, right? It's got everything to do with Monero being on trial. And if we connect some of the dots, we saw that Fluffy Pony was being lined up for extradition just not that long ago, right? Was intercepted on his way to someplace in Mexico, was not intentionally skipping out on his court dates in South Africa, but he was characterized that way, and then he was picked up. So let's see. Chris Knight is saying, hey, is that YubiKey good? I don't use a YubiKey, but I'm strongly considering going with one because I like the idea of being able to use an NFC unlock from my phone with a YubiKey that way, instead of having it be like a hardware, like a USB insertion on like every other device where it's like, all right, is your key present? Is your key present? I think it's a cool idea to have near field communication for a YubiKey. So I might go that route. Let's see. Chris is saying, I reviewed it, but have not decided to try it. Huh. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I might pick one up soon. I might get the one that has the dual, like it's got the USB prongs on the one side and then has the NFC as well. So, ooh, Joe is saying there's one that has USB Type-C and also NFC. It's so cool. T-Bone Gaming is saying, chip in your hand to unlock. Here's the thing, guys. NFC tags, MyFair and some of the other like NFC tags that you can write to, and then you can like seal them, close the session, almost like old writable CDs and stuff. those exist too. You could always do that, right? You could always find a way to write your own custom NFC paired device, but it's not going to have the same like full security stack that YubiKey has built in, right? Where you're, instead of you having to provision whatever that key is and then write it yourself and then ensure that it's secured, it's nice to have a third party assist in like building that up and having it be a separate party from like the entities that you want to keep your secrets from, like Google, Facebook, Twitter, et cetera, right? All the big tech players. So yeah, I'm kind of a fan of having multiple different sources, and then if it's possible, having them write their software stack in open source. So, hey, Chris Knight says, I shared you on my Facebook pages. Post it. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I completely got rid of Facebook just a little while ago. Took longer than I thought I would, because I stopped using it years ago. Mentally checked out of Facebook in sometime in 2013, 2014. And then whatever. Whatever. Mistakes were made. I probably should have just blasted it, just nuked it from space right then. But I didn't. I waited. So yeah, we can see here, guys, it's really Monero that's on trial there. Coinbase apparently also has a contract with the feds. And this is older news, right? This is from September 20th. But yeah, September 20th, the Coinbase team, they signed a deal with ICE, right? So this is essentially your immigration entity here in the United States. So yeah, looking for criminals who are, illegals here in the country, or we're trying to map the movement of cryptocurrencies across their network into other territories. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of this sort of thing, right? So apparently they also signed a deal with the DEA and the IRS. Guys, I don't know how else to say this. I think I've said it in a couple of individual videos. I don't know how else to say this. Brian Armstrong is a really intelligent guy, and he's running a really successful company, but he doesn't care about you. Not one bit. Not at all. If he gets a directive, if he gets a polite request even, not even with a warrant, and not even with any kind of compensation or payment, right, remuneration for his services, he will throw you under the bus, or his company will. He won't personally, right? Like, he's like grabbing you by the neck, like, all right, under the bus you go. Like, his company will absolutely throw you, me, your mom, my mom under the bus, like all of our parents, everyone we love, right? Yeah, what is it? That's from Hamilton. Should I sing some King George from Hamilton? Should I? Yeah. Let's get the proper stage here, guys. Alrighty. I gotta do this right. Gotta do this justice. Da 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 da. Alrighty, we just about got this. Got to do this live though. Yep, Alex Bird, no crap, he's gonna sing. He's actually gonna do it. Oh my gosh. Yep, I am gonna do it, but I needed to get the correct backdrop. Are we ready? Da 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 da. So when push comes to shove, he will kill your friends and family to remind you of his love. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. That's what it means to work with the IRS and the FBI. Just saying. You're welcome. All right, getting that out of the way. I'm not a big fan of headlines like that. I'm not a big fan of what it means for cryptocurrencies to see that companies are just complicit in handing over customer data without a warrant, without due process, without T-Bone Gaming. Never trust a bald guy. Yeah, that's what I always say. He's right. Don't trust them. They're like thin men or men with thin mustaches. Can't. No, you can't. So, yeah, Cryptid Youth says Game of Thrones flashback, and we lost like half the viewers. They're like, I'm out of here, man. I'm gonna go watch somebody tell me about like XRP and why XRP is the standard. This guy's insane. They're not wrong. And you knew what you were getting into when you clicked on play, right? But did you know what you were getting into when you clicked on like and subscribe? Find out, right? Live a little. So I'm not very happy with this idea that they've got, and it's not a ton of money based on what all these guys are earning, right? And their net worth. About $1.25 million. Like, it's not the biggest payday these guys have ever seen, right? That's not how they roll. They deal with really, really large amounts. It's the principle of the thing. It's the fact that it's kind of an early payoff to say like, all right, just help us. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, just help us. Chris is bringing up really great insight in the chat where he says, look, he has no choice. You are right. And that's why I didn't mean to actually make it like personal. I did the whole like King George thing. It's not really Brian Armstrong personally. It isn't. But the platform itself has grown too big for its britches. And so even if he's a completely passive observer, right? Even if he has literally no choice at all in the matter, then he's watching his company sort of like a slow motion train wreck, right? Just watching his company move into the custody of government agencies. Can you imagine being in that position where it's like you see it happening in slow motion, you can't do anything? So I don't envy the guy, and I don't mean to like, make it sound like it's all him or whatever. But it is really, really sad that he's in that position of him having to choose between himself and you. Who do you think he's going to choose? Well, a choice like this, getting the contract in the first place, makes it clear his interests come first, his company comes first. Like the principals and the executives at Coinbase have made that choice. The line in the sand is drawn, and the sand is drawn, and you're not on the right side, right? If you happen to be asked about, become a person of interest who is a customer of theirs as well, you're not getting your crypto. You're not getting your Bitcoin. Those are not your Bitcoin. Those are not your cryptos, right? They belong to Coinbase, and they are subject to the IRS and to ICE and to the DEA and everybody else that they talk to, right? Like they stopped being yours the moment that you signed the end user license agreement. So let me be more clear, guys, without making it about anybody there. For you, for me, for anybody watching this video, for anybody you share it with, get off Coinbase. Get off Coinbase. Get your cryptos out of there. Slowly if you have to, right? With daily amounts, but get off Coinbase. Don't stick around to see how bad it can get, because I promise you it can get worse. That's fair, right? This isn't me making it personal with anybody. This isn't me like dressing up the CEO of the company and singing silly songs about him. This is me just saying the platform itself is not designed to protect you in the way that Satoshi laid out in the white paper and in the early emails. Satoshi made it clear that you're supposed to hold your keys, that you're supposed to be in charge, right? So anyway, oof, I just red screened you too. Yikes. And John Germain says, what Coinbase, my only method to cash out? Well, I'm going to push back on that a little bit. You do have other options, and a lot of them are centralized. You do have other options as well. So you can look at your other options. You got Gemini, you got Cash App, and I'm not going to say that they're better, worse, the same, or whatever. You got to make your own choices, guys. This is not legal financial advice. You figure out what you're going to do. But I am just saying, like, as far as custody of your own coins, if it's just the native asset itself and you're not off-ramping into fiat and you don't plan to, then why wouldn't you just hold it yourself? You don't need Coinbase to do that, do you? So if you're not cashing out, then you don't need Coinbase or Gemini or Kraken or any of the others, right? So just saying. Alex also brings up a very good point. He says that's a taxable event. Plus, then you're giving your crypto away to somebody else who doesn't deserve it. It's yours. Hold on to it as long as you can. So just throwing it out there, guys. And last but not least, I really love this little snippet. This is what the today's thumbnail was based on. And here is JP Morgan Chase's CEO, the illustrious Jamie Dimon, talking some smack.
I personally think that Bitcoin is worthless, but I don't want to be exposed to it. I don't care. It makes no difference to me. Our clients are adults. They disagree. That's what makes markets. So if they want to have access to buy or sell Bitcoin, it's hard. We can't custody it, but we can give them legitimate, as clean as possible access. I personally think.
Okay, guys. What do you think? Am I off base? This looks an awful lot like somebody who is retreating from a fight and trying to shout down their opponent, hoping to minimize the damage, but they know that it's going to come to blows. You know what I mean? That body language. I see somebody who's playing it off really well because he's got years of practice, right? Being in front of boardrooms and being in front of Congress and being in front of large groups, trying to convince them that everything's okay, even though he may have their best interests at heart, or maybe, less so. Maybe he's in trouble based on what Congress is asking him, or what a group that he's been brought in front of a court or in front of a judge. He may perceive he's in trouble. This is a guy, I'm saying, who has executive training to stay calm under pressure. Is he telling the truth? Is he really not worried? Does he really not care about Bitcoin? Really? Do you really think he doesn't care? Because I think he's sweating bullets right now. I think this mofo is like a duck, right? He is like a duck, calm on the surface, but under the water, he's like, oh! He's paddling like crazy, trying to get to where he wants to go so that his company and he himself don't get absolutely wrecked when Bitcoin completely invalidates their business model. And when DeFi does it too, right? So this is where all of these other moving parts between Ethereum, between even Solana, right? These smaller players in that space, and Bitcoin, they all work together to basically say, okay, cool, we've got wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum. We've got Bitcoin that now has become very low fee. We've got second layer solutions like Lightning Network that are making remittances and payments useful in developing countries. We've got all this other stuff. El Salvador doesn't need Chase. El Salvador doesn't need JP Morgan. El Salvador doesn't even need their oldest banks. What happens to characters like this, sad characters like this, when everybody in the world wakes up and totally realizes it? Right? This guy he's sweating boulders, right? He is on the inside, he's just on fire. Molten lava in his heart. He's like, oh no. It's not just his face that's going to melt. It's like his whole body is going to spontaneously combust when the realization finally hits that, that nobody needs them anymore. And that, that everybody else realizes it and they turn to him like, wait, we know. Everybody knows we don't need you anymore. Wow. We don't need what you guys offer anymore. And we're so close, guys. We've never been closer. So I think he's absolutely sweating. Just throwing it out there. So I don't believe this kind of stuff at all. The fact that he went out of his way to mention it tells me, and you learn this in The Art of War, right? Sun Tzu said, right, that when there are words of violence, like words, angry words, that it signals retreat, right? So I think that there's a bit of an issue here. I think, if anything, he's telling you the exact opposite of what he's actually doing. So lying and buying, I think, was that MC that said it? Who said lying and buying? That was great. Yeah, somebody said he's lying and buying. T-Bone says he's hiding a bag. Oh my gosh. Was it Gordon? Yep. Gordon says he's buying and lying. Yeah, right? Probably. It's an unregulated market. He doesn't necessarily have to disclose certain things in this space. So buying and lying, absolutely concerned. Yep, MC, Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Yep, right. Sun Tzu said that when words of violence come, that it signals retreat. This guy is on the ropes. He knows his time is almost done. He knows that his company is almost history.
I personally think that Bitcoin is worthless, but I don't want to be exposed to it. I don't care. It makes no difference to me. Our clients are adults.
Yeah, literally the opposite. I don't care. Which actually means he does. Like he cares the most he's ever cared before. Yeah. Guys, this is so bullish. This is so incredibly bullish. I didn't think I'd be having such an incredibly bullish show tonight, but I'm starting to think that some of the current sentiment, right, that this greed of 78, when somebody like Jamie Dimon says that, I'm starting to think that this is warranted. I'm starting to think that we actually do deserve to have this level of greed in the markets, because a guy like that saying like, "Oh, I don't care. You know, I think Bitcoin's worthless. It's nothing." I mean, it's like my friend says, it's rat poison squared. No, yeah, Bitcoin's really, really bad. You wouldn't like it. Don't get any. No, you guys don't buy any. Bitcoin's really bad. Bitcoin's so bad, you go away. Come on, man. But that's the last news item for the night, guys. Let's take a look at some Goblin Loser, I don't know, is saying, were my messages coming through? They were. I'm sorry if I missed them. Did you see them on the chat? Because I thought that I pushed top chat all the way. Or I'm sorry, not. Ooh. I thought I was pushing all chat through to the screen. They should be visible, though, my friend. They should be. That's important to me, guys. It's important to me. You don't. For now, we don't have that many trolls, and my automated filters and bots are doing pretty well. That we don't have like completely horrible people coming in live chat and like being abusive to each other or like mean to you guys or whatever. Because we get rid of those guys. So I'm happy to have chat on screen. So sorry if those aren't showing up. But yeah, let's see. Some Goblin Loser, I see you there. I see your chat's coming through, man. Let's see. Actually, no, I don't see that many though. Maybe you only did a couple. Yeah, like you're saying, not your keys, not your crypto. I'm seeing a few. So that's awesome, man. Yeah, Chris Knight saying, we just keep mining and buying and hodl. Nice. Yep, greed is a good indicator. Yeah, fear is a good indicator, guys. And you know that from my part, just my take on it, we look at them as counter indicators, right? So in my mind, so I'm seeing us be very greedy, and maybe we've got a little bit more to go. But with that extreme greed indicator, I'm thinking, okay, how do I plan proper exits? How do I plan proper taking of profits? And whatever that means for the individual situation, right? Like, how do I plan to not get wrecked? Because if we have a blow off top in this market, which we could, right? There's no saying we won't have a blow off top. If we have a blow off top, then that means like whatever. If you're riding like your BMX bike and you're going through the mud trails and stuff, right? And people have like built obstacles and stuff. It means that there's a really, really big ramp that you think is a tabletop, but on the other side, it's just at the edge of the transition. It's just a dead drop, right? So if you're like, oh, like pedaling as hard as you can, you're gonna go flying off of that like that blow off top and get wrecked. You got to figure out how to bail out somewhere along the way up, even though you might lose a little bit of the upside. You got to figure out what you're going to do to make sure you don't get wrecked on the way down. So being smart. And I'm not here to like offer strategy or financial advice or tell you how to structure that. I'm just saying if you can picture that in your mind of like a blow off top looking like a skate ramp or like a BMX ramp, that, I mean, you can absolutely get wrecked if you land wrong right on the other side when you come back down. So yeah. Alex is saying, wait, what is an exit strategy? You mean we don't just keep mining till the end of time? LOL. Yeah, we definitely don't keep mining till after 2140 productively, right? It's fees only after that point. So yeah, I know. Debbie Downer up in here. So weird. But Chris is signing off. Thanks for being here with us, Chris, man. Appreciate you being here. So let's take a look at our top of the line Team Green cards. We got our 3090, 2080 Ti, 1660S, and the 1080 Ti. Let's say calculate 12 or 14 cent power, profitability for 7 days. And we got our volume filter, guys, set at 5 BTC. Might be a bit aggressive. I hope, I would hope we could go a little bit lower, have something in between like 2.5 BTC, but that's just not available to us right now. Unless, could I mean, it's a bunch of spaghetti up here. I could potentially alter that up in the inline variables in the browser and the URL, but I just can't edit it here, unfortunately. That's too bad. So Equilibria is at the top of the list. It went way past Ethereum, just did a slingshot all the way back. And then, yeah, it's Ethereum in number 2 spot, but Equilibria is taking over. That Kryptonite GPU algorithm is doing great. It's available on TradeOgre, and the volume is through the roof. It's actually higher than Ravencoin right now by a significant margin. Dang. Ravencoin is down relative to its typical trading volume at only 35 BTC per day, which is good, right? For the size show that we have here and for the size mining operations that many of us run, we want these kinds of coins to be within that kind of range, you know? So Gordon is saying that the Equilibrium network is lagging, so don't trust the numbers. Hey, fair. The first time that I saw it show the leaderboard, I was a little bit skeptical, so that's good feedback. Thank you. But seeing the volume, that just seems unreal for that to be flipped between Ravencoin. Maybe there's a bit of an issue there. Maybe there's some kind of a transcription error between those two projects. But it looks like, based on this view, Equilibria, then Ethereum, then Firo, and Conceal. Now, Firo has had some really good news. The live stream by Ruben Yap today, which also featured Justin Ehrenhofer from the R Cryptocurrency subreddit, as well as the Magic project, or the Magic organization, which is they exist to give grants to crypto projects that are doing academic study, academic research. It's pretty cool. Firo is doing pretty well there. Conceal also coming up in the ranks, which is awesome, guys. Throw it up for Savage Mine. Really, I'm just gonna say it, and I've been saying it since before we lost him. That project owes that man. That project owes Savage for being as visible as they are, right? Like they did right by his widow, and they did right by his family, I think, when he passed. I'm just saying, the fact that we know about Conceal is in no small part thanks to Savage. He did that. So, and he did it for free. He did it as a labor of love. So here they are, and enjoying phenomenal visibility and rising up the ranks. That's great to see that they're doing well. But again, it's weird. I see the project, and the first thing that I think is like, I just miss Savage. I don't care about the project that much. I just think about how much time he put into, like, just as a labor of love, just giving to that project and the community, learning about it, and oh well. At least his efforts were not in vain, right? That's what we're seeing. So, moving on from the top of the line on Team Green, let's go over to the value and efficiency cards on Team Green. 1060, 1660, 2060. Where the heck are you? I do not like this layout. There it is. And the 3060 Ti non-LHR version. And let's go ahead and calculate those numbers. Looks like we've got similar lineup with Equilibria. Whether that is real time or not, looks like just there that they're showing that there's a little bit of lag right there, mismatch between the network difficulty and the 24-hour awards. So yeah, it could be this is very off, but it looks like Equilibria in number 1, Ethereum number 2 at 787 per day, Firo still in number 3, and Conceal still in the 4th spot, with Beam at a very distant 5th. So that's Team Green, guys, in a nutshell. Quickly get those out of the way. Go over to our Team Red info. Hey, and I see real time that we just got a brand new affiliate signing up over at mineyourbiz. Somebody is interested in promoting privacy and the crypto lifestyle and getting paid for it. Welcome aboard, whoever you are. You will remain anonymous here on this live stream, but just know we will be talking soon, because I want you to win. Your success is our success, straight up. So, all right, moving on to Team Red. We've got our R9 380, which is still in the profit. Not a whole lot, but there's some profit being made by this card. Let's see exactly where. Ethereum Classic at 28 cents, which is great for a card that should have already been retired, should already be at the discount bin, doing 28 cents per day. Quark Chain at 26 and Equilibria at 29, if that can be believed. Again, we don't know for sure if these numbers are actually valid, but it looks like right now the market, wow, the volume is going up. It looks like on Equilibria real time. It was at 177 just a second ago, and recalculating is at 178. So either something is off here, or we're seeing massive trade volume flow through this project. Now, the market cap and volume are both listed here, and the volume seems like it's a mismatch for the market cap. So I kind of want to If we don't already have it, I'm going to jump ahead to our portfolios here, guys. And I'm going to see, did we already add it to this? Because I don't, yeah, we did. We did. I'm going to jump to its dedicated page here on CoinGecko. I feel like this is important for us to cover right now, right? Like, let's jump down this rabbit hole really quickly. And market cap is at $36 million, which is a mismatch from what's listed here, right? We're seeing here $13 million for market cap. Maybe that's not fully diluted. Maybe that is some other measurement of market cap. But right now on CoinGecko, Equilibria is shown at more than double that market cap, which I think would actually make it even possible to get the amount of trading that is listed over on What to Mine. They're saying 24 hours, they're doing about $10 million. And that makes me want to further still open up Nomics to take a look at this project. So let's see if we can get this guy pulled up. XEQ. There you go. Equilibria pulled right up. And let's see what it's doing here on this chart. Looks like on this chart, do we have a transparency score for the markets? Let's take a look. 63 cents first off, which is phenomenal for a coin like this that's being listed over on on TradeOgre. Looks like it's pretty much just TradeOgre and Hotbit. And TradeOgre, they only give a rating of a D. I don't know that I agree with that. You guys tell me in the chat what you think. My experience of TradeOgre as a trading platform is that it's had the liquidity that it promises to have for coins that I need to trade there. So while there might be larger whales on the platform that are wash trading back and forth, I don't know that I've ever had a problem getting an order filled. I don't know that I've ever had a problem getting my coins on-ramped or off-ramped from TradeOgre. Is that an endorsement? Kind of. It's a great non-KYC exchange. So when you need to do swaps between coins that are not decentralized on a DEX or on an AMM, it's a helpful tool to have. And for coins like this, it's kind of your only option if you're not okay with going to, say, like Hotbit. So that is a lot of volume though. And it looks like what Nomics is saying is it's just under $4 million of daily volume. And they're not showing any other kinds of trades there. So yeah, something's off at that point. Gordon Murray is chiming in the chat and saying that Hero Miners has 95% of the hash rate for this coin as well. Yeah, that's not healthy at all, guys. The first time that I saw Equilibria show up on the radar, it showed up too fast. Something seemed off, right? So Alex Burton is saying, what other non-KYC exchanges do you recommend? Well, yeah, that's a funny thing, right? I can't recommend any of them, but I did do a little video, and you'll see just below me on this little marquee with the various ads that are underneath my camera right now, that there is Conga Exchange. There's conga.exchange or conga.myb.lol. There's TradeOgre, which is, beloved by many. And then there are a couple of others as well. KuCoin is something that a lot of other people like as well. And then one that's very near and dear to my heart, but is a little bit lower volume right now, is Safe Trade Exchange. So safe.trade. Jeff is a super cool guy running the SafeCoin project. And my experience of him is always that he's treated people who trade on the platform and that he deals with very fairly. But it's non-KYC as well. And they've had to, I asked him a couple of years ago in an interview if he thought that if KYC laws needed to change based on where he's based in Canada, if they would relocate the exchange. That guy said yes. When I asked him, he was like, yeah, if we have to, yeah, we'll change. If the laws change to be overly restrictive, we'll just form a new entity somewhere else. And we will reassign all of the assets, including the exchange itself and all the, all the server database and everything else. We'll assign that to the new entity in a new jurisdiction with laws that are, that are just like more favorable to common sense movement of people's funds. Right. So he did. And so that's a pretty good one as well. One of the first non-KYC exchanges that I saw that centralized exchanges that allowed for the purchase of Solana. So that was kind of cool to see, like, all right, cool. You can kind of deal in the Solana world without being fully KYC'd and like beholden to FTX all the time, because that was a concern for a lot of people too. But yeah, lots of ways to approach that. I've got to be really cautious about that, right? Like none of these are recommendations, guys. The list of exchanges that I just mentioned, I want you to do your homework and make sure that you fully understand how they work. It's not an endorsement. I'm just saying that these are exchanges that do not ask for heavy KYC requirements within certain boundaries. Some of them, after you get past a certain daily withdrawal amount, or after you get past a certain, you ask for a certain amount of daily withdrawal, they may ask you to do KYC. And they may even slow down some of your withdrawals, right? Because that is what they are required to do based on where they have formed their corporate entity. So they're beholden to laws just like everybody else, right? I like obeying every law. They like obeying every law. I just, I much prefer dealing in industries and in places where the laws are just based on common sense, so it's a lot better. Anyway. Yeah, Alex says he invests in precious metals like lead and brass. I love those precious metals too. They're great. And they went up like 500% last year. So they were actually better than gold. Figure that one out. Anyway, so Equilibria, that answers a lot of questions. that was really kind of disconcerting to me to see it so high on the rankings there. So back into our GPU mining profits here. The R9 Fury, another very ancient card. Hey, Gordon says he just got some precious metals delivered today. That's awesome, man. Apparently FedEx is doing a really good job of losing those in the mail. Let's see. Some Goblin Loser, I don't know, says, I don't see why we all can't just get along. Is it that difficult? Yeah, man, it's not difficult. You build a good fence and you have good neighbors. I mean, invite them over for a barbecue too, but you build a good fence and you have good neighbors. Just make sure that, every now and then you have them over for dinner and you chat and you stay friendly and you get to know each other and you look after each other, you watch each other's backs, but then you build a good fence. So there's our R9 Fury. Raven Coin is nearly top of the list there, we'll say. 65 cents. And then Beam is doing great at 85 cents on that card, as well as Equilibria showing up, but it looks like Beam is taking the profit crown for right now, just maybe not as consistently as Raven Coin is. So that's our R9 Fury ancient card there. 570, this is a 4 gig Polaris card. And we've got Raven Coin also top of the list, 73 cents. Equilibria showing 89 cents. Not sure how much I believe that anymore. Beam at 81, Ethereum Classic at 74, and then Quark Chain at 72. Even Quark Chain is looking more appealing than Equilibria in a way. Tyler Wasson is saying, great job with the channel. Hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Thanks for being here with us live. It's super cool you've come to hang out and talk with us about mining and about the general crypto markets. So that's our 4 gig Polaris card, guys. Looking not too bad. Let's take a look at our 8 gig Polaris card. And scrolling down, we got Ethereum at $1.68, so back up just a little bit. Equilibria at $1.07. Beam at 87 cents. Raven Coin at 70 cents. Nothing is touching Ethereum again on these 8 gig cards. Just looking phenomenal there. For a card that is really, really old, that's not bad at all. And guys, please do check the chat. This is important stuff. I'm not going to be able to repeat everything that's said in the chat, but just know that, like, I love what's being said in the chat. That's why I'm keeping it on screen. And if you're uncomfortable by what's happening in the chat there, just know that, like, you should have expected it. Like, look at some of the content I've made. Look at some of the conversations that I've had. And yeah, I think there are people in the chat right now who are really trying to help you. They really are. If you pay attention to what they're talking about and try to go where they talk about going, they're just trying to help you. So, all right. So we're going from our 8 gig Polaris card all the way to our Vega cards. Yeah, Alex, I apologize, guys. That's the thing. Like, you gotta know your audience, right? And unfortunately, part of my audience is an automated algorithm that's evaluating every single thing I say or do, and in some cases, even doing optical character recognition on text that's put on the screen, but really more so what I say and do. So, Yeah, and the transcript of what I've said. So there's that too. A bit of it's automated in that way. But yeah. So moving on to our Vega series cards. Go with Vega 56. Calculate that. This is always nice to see. Yeah. Yeah. Ethereum at $2.84. And Equilibria also showing some profit there, but I don't know that I believe that. Beam at 162, Ravencoin at 139, Ethereum Classic at 144, but it's Ethereum all day on that Vega 56. Let's look at our Radeon 7, which is the top of the line there, and calculate profit for the Radeon 7, and it should be our Ethereum at, 580 again, Ethereum top of the stack. Ethereum Classic at 315, not looking so hot. Quark Chain, Beam, everything else is just like, it just pales by comparison. Yeah, pales in comparison to Ethereum. Just breaking ankles over there on Team Red. Let's do a composite score of our 5600 XT and our 6800 XT. Hit calculate and see what that does for us as well. Top of the list looks like Equilibria, but really it's Ethereum at 640. Ravencoin at 385. It's not, no. It's not even close. It's still Ethereum. But if Equilibria, if any of those profits are liquid or if that can be validated, that is a phenomenal, phenomenal boost to daily profits if you're willing to sell at regular intervals. I think what's difficult is that it'll be hard to know how this performs over time. And we probably at some point need to start averaging out some of the portfolio that we've got listed over on CoinGecko. So not just showing a single coin that was bought back or a single coin purchase that was done back on May 26th, but an additional coin purchase since then to show what it would do to average into this position, or maybe even start to do a typical like, whatever, 24, 48 or 72 hour payout or weekly payout as though it were coming from some kind of a mining pool. And that would be a phenomenal way for us to start tracking some of these coins that are GPU and ASIC and CPU mineable. I don't know what it'll take to set that up. Yeah, I don't know if there's any kind of a tool that's already written for that. So we might have to do that manually, and that might be more than I can handle for this show based on the amount of time that I have for it. But I apologize, guys. That would be the ideal thing, though. The ideal thing for sure. Alex is pleading with me next around the blockchain visit with Wendy. Mention the tats for tacos. LOL. Okay, cool. I will do that. The Deadwood is spitting truth down in the comments there. Yes, unfortunately, the AI does not favor certain views. So, yeah, that's the world we live in, guys. That is absolutely the world we live in. It bears mentioning that in the description of this video, I've got a link to Odyssey where I am also building up that channel. And who knows, maybe one of these days, that is where we will all be hanging out live because they do offer live streams there. Haven't really tested it out, but maybe we will try to build that channel up more. We'll see. Yeah, they've been big fans of some of my other style content. So that is our lineup, guys, for all of the cards. That's the current profitability. Bitcoin currently sitting at $57,000. And so smashing a single kilo of gold by about $500. So surpassing its biggest rival. Taking a look at our portfolios, GPU mining coins are up 3% in the last 24 hours. And since the creation of this portfolio, we have we've gone up by 33.3% for the total profit and loss. That's awesome. Some Goblin Loser is saying, I apologize. I'm going to sleep. Today was rough. Hey, sorry about a rough day, man. Thanks for being here with us. Definitely appreciate you. It's always nice to have you in the chat, man. Much love. Thanks for being here, man. We'll see you next time. But let's see in the GPU mineable coins, though. Top of the list is still Equilibria. It's doing phenomenally well. If this is all to be believed and the recent price action is okay and not just like some kind of crazy interference or manipulation, then you did really well by mining Equilibria. I don't know if anyone could have predicted that, but there it is. Flux in number 2 also had that really great pump by the parallel assets being debuted. Ryo Currency in 3rd place. Bottom of the list, guys, we got Mimblewimble Coin and BitTube. BitTube showing intense signs of what could be manipulation in those those trading formations, right? Those price formations right there with the massive valleys to sharp spikes. I don't know about that. I don't feel good about that. But it is a project that I know is trying to still build something, a real product. So who knows? Maybe they're really working to try to recapture popular attention there and do it the right way. Swap as well, kind of struggling, but it doesn't look like artificial manipulation or anything. So there's that. Middle of the pack is still doing middle of the pack stuff with really weird formations that maybe are or are not correlated to anything else. All of the alts, it's kind of every man for himself right now, basically. Kind of every coin for themselves, right? It's like this self-preservation of like, oh no, well, Bitcoin is taking over. The Bitcoin dominance is really, really rising. So what do we do? Scatter, right? Like it's been pretty crazy. Alex is asking, what happened to Litecoin going Mimble Wimble? Well, we covered that a few weeks ago. And and Litecoin, they've got plans to integrate Mimble Wimble, but it's been slow going. The actual development, right, on the ground for Litecoin has been very, very slow, even though they've got relatively good transactional throughput. They've got a very, very loyal community, really, really loyal user base. The actual development of new functionality on Litecoin doesn't seem to be moving very fast. It's sort of like, all right, we're going to roadmap this and roadmap that and roadmap this, and maybe we'll get omni-layer coins. You'll be having Tether on Litecoin soon. And I'm like, oh, that just sounds like a bad day. Like, why? Why would I want Tether on Litecoin? I don't get it. So I don't know. I don't know what's next for Litecoin. But again, disclosure, I don't want to like carelessly talk down on this project or, talk this project down or dress it down publicly. I just don't hold any, I don't use it, and I don't want to be like overly critical about it, but I really don't know. I really don't know what their development roadmap plan looks like right now. Maybe somebody who knows better can sound off in the chat. And Joe is saying, did you see that Polygon transaction fees went up 30x? Dang, really? In a way, that's not a shock. You've heard me say for about a week or a few weeks now that one of the things that's made the transaction fees so low is the fact that the coin price is really low. So we can take a look at that. The transaction volume on Polygon, though, also surpassed what was on Ethereum. So there is a lot more usage of Polygon than almost any other EVM chain. And nobody's talking about that, right? Like your point, though, totally valid about the fees going up. It was only a matter of time, man, with the amount of usage that Polygon is getting, right? Only a matter of time before the fees went up at least a little bit. So it's a bummer, but I'm also kind of not shocked. But yeah, good point. All right, guys, that's our GPU mineable portfolio. Take a look at hard drives, see what we got there. Joe is reminding us that it's still pennies to transact on the Ethereum scaling solution, Polygon or Matic. So that's good to know. Looks like a MadeSafe coin is still top of the list, but it's been kind of losing value for a while now. Finally steadying up a little bit, kind of finding some stability, some bottom support there. 24-hour change, we're down 0.5%, but total P&L, we're down 7%. So hard drive mineable coins have not been good to anyone, really. And again, like, hey, do we have any chia tears to drink on tonight's show? Guys, go ahead and pour me a cup of chia tears here. Yeah, just put it here in this shaker cup. I'll drink those later on. This is me feeling a little bit cold-hearted in that direction because I've had people try to jump into the chat and try to jump into comments and stuff and say your video didn't age well, and all of a sudden, what does price action do? Totally spanks them. So yeah, last 3 days have been harsh for chia hodlers, right? Like if you hodled down, right? Not up. You hodled down. Last 3 days in particular was really, really rough. It's not really reflected in the last 7-day price action right here because it looks like it's about half of the downward movement that it actually was. So there it is. Cryptid Youth is saying, hit a solo plot again, so no tears here. That's great. And I'm happy for you guys. I actually am. When people are doing well, I'm actually happy for you. When people are not doing well and aping into hardware purchases that are going to leave them wrecked because they leveraged themselves, like they overextended themselves to get tens of thousands of dollars worth of gear late in the game, nah, I'm just going to say, hey, that was a really, really bad choice. You probably should have just bought the coin. On the way up, you probably should have just bought the coin, sold the top. And then if you wanted to go a plot afterwards, like fine. But sometimes we get caught up in the mining mentality of like, no, it has to be only proof of work. That's the only way I can contribute. I can't just go buy coins and trade also. Why not, man? Of course you can. Of course you can buy coins and trade. Of course you can trade coins you already mined. Like, who's stopping you? Right? Like, there's other ways to do this. Just saying. So, yeah. Hey, Integra guy says, I'm so glad I sold my 2 Chia coins right at 2K, right out of the gate. That's dope, man. That is the biggest dub I have seen in Chia mining so far. That's rad. And seriously, like, you're the man for not being like, oh, I gotta hold on, because what if they go to $16,000? Could you imagine, man, getting wrecked? Knowing that you could have sold at 2K and then not selling at 2K? Wouldn't that have been like a complete kick to the groin? Like, man, like field goal kick. Oh, like running field goal kick to the nuts. But you did the right thing, man. That's awesome. Applause, man. Big props to Integra guy for selling at the right time. So, yeah, I'm seeing that, and it's just sad. Signum somehow making a return? Like, I don't understand that either. I'm just going to be very realistic here, guys. Equal opportunity salt here, spread across all of these coins that are underperforming. But yikes. What happened at Signum? What changed, guys? Because it was totally ranging sideways, crabbing sideways, and kind of moving down. So I don't know what the difference is there. What's going on with Signum that has sent it upward, right? It's got the highest 7-day of anything in this portfolio. It's just like, it's super, like the price is super low compared to everything too, right? It's still 35% down. So I'm kind of at a loss for what's happening there. Maybe somebody here knows a little better what's happening with the Signum community, right? Formerly known as Burst Coin or whatever. Let us know if you know. But those are hard drive mineable coins. Again, MadeSafe is just like still proving that the best time to sell it was a little while ago. And CPU mineable coins are, my gosh, just still getting sick with it. 24-hour change, it's up about 1.5%, but total PNL since we started the portfolio is still almost 150% up. Raptorium still doing what it does, just slaying bodies, right? Leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Destruction, blood, and gore. Just like, that is intense. Intense. It's like, it's just leaving like faceless bodies, right? Right in its wake. And when you walk past them, you're like, what happened to that person's face? And they turn and talk to you because they're still coherent and alive. It's like, Raptorium it's like a horror movie, right? It's like, it leaves them alive so they can still talk to you. They turn to you and like with their faceless, no eyes face, say like, oh, Raptorium melted my face. That's what it did on its way through the market. It did that. So still outperforming, I think maybe still outperforming Hex, which will be a huge surprise to the Hexicans in the audience, right? So Raptorium has done phenomenally well since May 26th. Epic Cash also doing pretty darn good, right? The last week in particular, up 100%. So something has happened in Epic Cash land that has made it awesome. Alex is asking, is this CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko? This is CoinGecko. So CoinGecko lets you make the custom portfolios. That's how we add the new coins when people request that a new coin be added. We've only got that $1,000 paper purchase from May 26th, where we line everything up on that same day at the same time of day to make sure it's an even playing field. But CoinGecko offers that particular functionality for free. So you can check that portfolio from your phone if you want to. Monero is in third place. It's past our break even, but just barely. WowNero is past break even, and that's the line. Below the waterline is Quantum Resistant Ledger, Varus, and Yenten. Yenten is still, not doing great, but whoever suggested it, it's nice to see something different here, right? So we had a very, very light CPU mineable portfolio before. Now it's got one more addition. ASIC mineable coins. Get over here. Go Mining token is at the top of the list. 24-hour change is 0.5% down. Total PNL is about 0.5% up. That's kind of oddly odd. So GMT is still our top performer at almost 200% up. Bitcoin is not doing bad, but Guys, again, it's all relative. Like pay attention to all of these values, right? We were looking at some of these coins that have done hundreds of percent up since May 26th. And it wasn't that that was the bottom for Bitcoin. It wasn't, right? But it was kind of like where there was some support, right? We're kind of averaging at that point. I was dollar cost averaging at that point. I have since stopped based on where Bitcoin is and sort of the rainbow chart. I don't think that dollar cost averaging is the right choice for Bitcoin right now. It just isn't, because there's not much upside. So yeah. And Alex is asking the question, we added GMT. He asks, what algo is GMT? GMT is kind of an oddball. It made it into this portfolio, not because it is actually ASIC mineable, because it isn't. So there is no mining algorithm for GMT. GMT is a token. Basically, it's tokenized mining. So GMT reached out to me and asked me to review their project, and I did. And I was like, this is kind of interesting, right? It's not exactly like cloud mining, like Genesis mining or whatever else, or like some of the others. It's tokenized mining where you purchase a token. It's not like Nice Hack either, but where you purchase a token and then that goes towards the treasury and the funding of a more centralized mining operation, right? A bit like how cloud mining would be, right? Where they host the mining, or they do co-location for other people. And the Go mining operation, they run they run. We got Alex in the chat saying, "Oh no, Seth, it's DeFi mining." No. That's the funny thing, guys. This was an audience request for me to put it in the portfolio. I wasn't planning on doing it. Somebody was like, "You know what? I'm just curious. Just put it in the portfolio, see how it performs." But it's this token that represents a centralized colo facility, basically. But they've got their own mining rigs too, right? So it's a bit like a cloud mining operation, but the way that they fundraise is instead of selling you a mining contract, they issued a token. It's that simple, right? Like, is it a security? Is it past the Howey test? Man, I don't know. I'm not an attorney. Don't ask me that stuff. The point is, that's how they chose to monetize their mining operation. And they also offer colo to people, I guess, if you go to that side of the business. So somebody was just like, "Hey, Seth, add it to the portfolio." So I did. And I put it on the same level playing field as every other coin we put in the portfolio. May 26th, 5:30 p.m. $1,000 put in this token. All these coins are on level ground. Nothing up this sleeve, nothing up this sleeve. Not showing any favoritism, not showing staked numbers if it's a staking coin, not showing any kind of DeFi yield interest, not showing any kind of other incentives or any kind of like custom NFTs that are issued to holders or to stakers. None of that. It's just the price of the coin or token, and that's it from May 26th until now, so that we could see how they all recovered relative to Bitcoin's recovery after it started performing in that 30 to 40K channel, right? Crabbing sideways. So everything else, just the same. But Go mining token, apparently still in the number one spot, just as that token. It's performed really well. Yeah, Alex is apparently Alex apparently has a thing for taking things from old ladies. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. It's like the purge, right? You do nice things on the motorcycle, you got to let it out somehow, right? The shadow, right? The negative, evil part of you. Just how it is, right? Like, I get it. So Bitcoin is in the number 2 spot there. I mean, taking candy from babies is so passe, right? Like, who actually wants candy? Old ladies have more interesting things in their purse, right? Like candy. Get out of here, that stuff, right? So Bitcoin is in the number 2 spot. Grin is in number 3, though I'm at a loss as to why, guys. I'm not following it closely, so maybe you know something about Grin that I don't for right now. And I would love to hear what you have to say about it, if you have any insight into what's going on in Grinland these days. But I don't know. Decred has been displaced by Grin, so it's a little bit higher or lower in the list than it was before. Biggest loser still to date is Pirate Chain. Looks like it had a pump earlier this week and then just declined again, right? The last 4 to 5 days, been on a steady decline, actually far more than 7%, because 7% is just from 7 days. So at this point, oof, It just looks bad. Over 45% down. I don't know what it's going to take for Pirate Chain to pull out of this kind of relative tailspin, but it just hasn't done super well since we made this portfolio. And there's some people who like love Pirate Chain. There's some people who hate Pirate Chain. I don't have that strong a feeling towards it one way or the other. I think it's a cool idea, the privacy by default. I think it's cool that it uses ZK snarks from a post sapling version of Zcash. And specifically, they actually got it via a fork of Komodo development. But like, I don't know anybody who actually uses it, right? People talk about Pirate Chain the same way they talk about Bitcoin, which is to say they want it to store value somehow, but they think it's cool that it can be transacted with privately. I don't actually know people who transact with it. Maybe you do, but anybody who I know who wants to use like a privacy coin for transactions is using Monero. Straight up. And our headline of the day made it pretty obvious that sting operation very much targeted Monero because it works well enough. So anybody who thinks that it's not anonymous enough or thinks that it has somehow been like fully mapped by the IRS or fully cracked on the encryption side or any of the data obfuscation and anonymity, nah. You sound like Jamie Dimon when you say that sort of thing. Alex is asking, Mind Your Biz, do you merge mine any coin combos via GPU like LTC Doge? No, that would be very unprofitable. LTC and Doge on the GPU, I wouldn't want to do that. And I don't merge mine any other coins either. I don't have any LHR coin or any LHR GPUs, which apparently the latest exploit to get past LHR is to go all the way up to the limit of what it can do with Ethereum and then use the remaining horsepower to then mine a separate algo. So yeah, no. To answer your question, no, not merge mining anything. But all right. So Pirate Chain is the biggest loser there. Bitcoin is in second place, but it's almost 12 percentage points less bloody there. And then middle of the pack is still middle of the pack, guys. They're just not. There's not a whole lot of separation there. And the profit line ends at Grin. So it's just those top three that are actually doing any kind of profit at all. And Grin is just barely there. Just barely. So, yeah, that's our ASIC mineable coins. Going into FPGA mineable coins, we have got Cadena still in the number one spot. The total 24-hour change, we're almost a full percent point down, but our total P&L is up by 4%. So Cadena is carrying this side of the portfolio. It's the only one that's in the profit at all, but it's up by over 200%. So it looks pretty good. Everything else is in the red, pretty bad. It's bad. It's real bad. So 0x Bitcoin is still doing its thing. Massive spikes over the last 24 hours. It's almost like they saw us coming. Like, I don't get it. Yeah, I really don't get it. So massive spikes there on 0x Bitcoin, still doing its swing thing. So if you're into that, it looks like it's got higher profits there. Maybe one of the people who had their algos running on 0x Bitcoin has given up. So you don't have dueling bots as often going on there, but it's still 60% down. Handshake is also down as well. And this is something that I don't understand, guys. So take a look at this trend line here on Handshake, steadily heading downward. This is what I don't understand about that. So I'm going to open up a popular service that is used for registering websites, registering domain names, right? And I apologize, I still got Dark Reader going here. I'm gonna take this off. Prepare your eyeballs. Whoop. Not that bad, right? So start to search for a name. Let's just say that we've got Burtonian dual miners. There we go. How's that for riffing, guys? There you go. So we go into their advanced search here on Namecheap, and we see we've got some options. We can go into beast mode, or we can go, oh, what's this? Guys, this is namecheap.com offering to let you go with Handshake domains right now. So just FYI, Bertonian dual miners, we can get .p or .oo or .pgp, SAS, OH, Creator, OOT, Orb, Socks, Elite, and Ill. Now you know what's the time, right? And yeah, less than $9. But that's all available directly on Namecheap, buying with fiat. I have not gone all the way down this rabbit hole to see what the end looks like, but I just thought that was super cool. It's like, all right, Handshake is kind of doing something that the Ethereum name service didn't do, right? Unless I'm unaware. I don't know if the Ethereum name service offers that on like GoDaddy or somewhere else. Maybe you guys know and I've missed it, but Namecheap allows you to buy Handshake domains now. Like, that was live. It's available, right? Gordon got it. Nobody else got it. But it's okay, man. Sometimes we it's okay. Sometimes we're in a culture desert. It's all right. But yeah, I don't get how this can be a reality and then Handshake is not recovering, right? As a project, right? That feels like a disconnect. This is live, a product that's shipping that basically does what it's supposed to do, what the development team claimed they were going to do, right? They brought something to market that people said they wanted and that people said they would pay for. And the price is doing this. So I don't fully understand that. Handshake, I think everybody was hoping for it to perform a lot better than that. Alex Burton is asking, Mind Your Biz, is that equivalent to unstoppable domains? Yes, it's very, very similar. And again, we all know that like the way the internet works, all of this is kind of a joke. It's like, is it really unstoppable? Like, seriously, if Google DNS really decided to like stop sending traffic your way, would you really be unstoppable? Well, no, you wouldn't be unstoppable per se. You'd have to ask everybody who comes to your website to use like Cloudflare DNS or some other DNS, right? Or some custom DNS or some custom private DNS that you've then like set up. But how are you going to tell them if they can't see your original website in the first place, right? Like there's so many checks and balances with the way the web works right now, right? Like, yeah, it's pretty much intense. Hey, Gordon Murray says, that's why I love listening to catch the references. LOL. So yeah, there's it doesn't take a rocket scientist or a black hat or a crazy hacker to be able to stop certain things. DNS powers the internet today. The end. Like, yeah, it's really kind of Gordon Murray says you can fly an airplane with a DNS banner behind it. LOL. Yeah, and some other like meme, right? A Doge meme, right? Where it's like, really, you want this? It's the next Shiba Inu. People will be like, oh my gosh, I gotta change my DNS, right? Oh, that would be pretty much crazy. Bitcoin Jake is in the house saying late, busy AF. Hey, it's okay, man. Hey, everyone's got the right to be busy, right? So Joko Sia says, just ask Facebook how DNS works. Man, they don't know. Right? Like they don't know that. Plus, ask them also how well monolithic repositories work out too. Right? Like, dude, the next time you talk to somebody who's a full stack dev at a Fortune 50 tech company, like big tech company, ask them whether or not they're functioning off of monolithic repositories or whether or not they have proper checks and balances and redundancies. Facebook, like so many others, is working off of monolithic repositories that when something goes wrong, like it did, they're effed, right? They're boned completely, underwater. So, yeah. Good times. I'm glad we're living to see interesting times together, folks. All right, so proof of stake smart contracts. Let's take a look at this as well. We got Phantom. Yeah, Alex says, Mind Your Biz, redundancy equals a pipe dream. It's probably true, man. I know. We all know it's true. Because if you try to write something that runs on Azure, then you've got dependencies and you've got a serverless stack that doesn't talk to GCP. And if you build it on GCP, you've got a serverless stack that doesn't talk to AWS. And if you build it on AWS, they'll give you redundancy, but only in their little walled garden, right? Like, no, I get it. It's hopeless. Like in a lot of ways, it is a hopeless situation as far as that goes. Let's see. Marielos is here saying, first time catching you live. And you caught me ranting about big tech. Ooh, ay de mí. Siento mucho. You came at the wrong time, mijo. Really? Don't get me talking about Miami coin. I'm in hot water with people who like it. Yeah. I don't want to I don't want to say anything negative. I'm sure that they very much mean well, but thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it. So taking a look at our portfolio here, we got Phantom in the number one spot. Didn't expect to see a flippening here, but we got one, right? So we got him, ladies and gentlemen. Phantom, number one at doing pretty well. Phantom doing well, very, very well, up over 500%. Terra Luna kind of, slowing down a bit. It's on a downward trend. Looks like everything here is correlated between Terra, Solana, Avalanche, Cosmos, and Wax. Look at that. Numbers 2 through 6. You see those formations, guys? Kind of like downward channel at almost the exact same point. Same little peak right there just before the downward channel on Terra, Solana, and Avalanche, and to a lesser extent, Cosmos. Cosmos peaked a little bit earlier and then started to go into a slightly different spiral downward, but they've got that same little valley there towards the end, last 24 hours as well. That's uncanny how closely matched those charts look, right? Interesting times. Phantom doing really well, though. Polkadot also kind of on the rise, 8% over the last week. Phantom really did a face melter, though, here, guys. 60% up is... yeah, huge. Didn't expect to see that kind of a flipping at all in these markets, but it's not with Ethereum or Cardano. Cardano is heading back down. If this trend continues, we'll see sub $2 Cardano. So if you are on that ADA gang, throw them up. ADA gang. Get out of here. But if you're on that ADA gang, you're going to have your buying opportunity, right? If that's your thing. If that's really your thing, I'm not going to really make fun of you. Obviously, like you know what your strategy is. But if you're looking for cheap Cardano, right, it's on sale. Today it's on sale. Might go on sale for less than $2. We'll see. Tron also on its way up. I think largely because people are interested in transacting, of all things, Tether on Tron. Like Tether is the big thing on Tron right now. I had a client not long ago for crypto marketing and stuff. This has kind of been like the day job, right? But I've had clients asking about like, hey, we want to send you Tether on Tron. So yeah, so a TRC20 Tether. It's weird. Alex Seth's Tether is way up. Yeah, no, my Tether is not way up. I wish my Tether were way up. It's not as up as it needs to be. So, because I want that dry powder for other things. But yeah, so Tron, I think, is largely being fueled by Tether right now. It's showing up in more places. I'm seeing it, for example, in a couple of payment processors as well, where I didn't see it before. But they're saying like, hey, we think that fees on Ethereum are too high. So you might be interested if you're offering stablecoins to your customers, offering them on Tron. So Good Guy Biker says Tron is dead. I know, right? I thought the same thing. Tron is dead. Long live Tron somehow. Why? It's here and people are transacting Tether on it right now. So lest I say anything ignorant, because I would have said the exact same thing last week, man. This last week is like, I don't know why. Everyone's like, yeah, don't think about Tether on Tron. And every other person is talking about like, hey, have you seen Tether on Tron? Oh my gosh, this client told me they were gonna offer me Tether on Tron. I don't know why. Yeah, don't know why. I imagine that it's probably just Justin's son diverting some personal funding to the Tether Foundation, like to Tether, and having Tether be printed on Tron because of him buying it, right? Like that's like the story of Tron over years now, right? Pretty much is that it's like Justin's son being like, all right, cool. Like, I mean, the exchange is being named after the guy and tokens being named after the guy. It's almost always just Justin's son doing the Justin Sun show on Tron. So just throwing that out there. He owes 2 people Teslas. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. But I mean, so doesn't Charlie Lee's brother owe somebody a Tesla too? Because I want to say, yeah, he owes somebody a Cybertruck, doesn't he? Because the cheapest Cybertruck is less than the cost of a Bitcoin. Did he actually wind up paying it? I don't know. I don't know. Crazy times. But yeah, Tron, I was not expecting that, guys, but seeing it in the green, and of all things, maybe because of stablecoin utilization. Yeah, I don't know. I was not expecting to see that, guys. To see it maybe flip in something like Cardano, that would be a long shot, right? Obviously, the market caps definitely don't match. But yeah, no, guys, it's true. Charlie Lee's brother, he offered to buy somebody a Cybertruck when the price of Bitcoin matched the price of a Cybertruck. It's on Twitter. I don't even think he had the common sense to go delete it. Like, it's still there. So, yeah. Yeah, good guy biker. They need Mind Your Biz as a People's Republic agent. Dude, no, they don't. They really don't. And I'm just saying, if you're coming from the Far East, if you're coming from an Asian country and you want to buy my loyalty, like, let's talk about South Korea more, okay? Like, maybe I can get behind South Korea or Japan or something, like, right? Like, no, nothing where they put people in work camps, please. I'm not down with that. You can't pay me enough. You can't afford me. I like firearms too much. So yeah, you don't have anything I want. So, all right. Kusama just sliding down the ranks. It's just not working. Oh man. Good Guy Biker says, tell it to John Cena. Everyone has a price. You know, you're not wrong. In a way, that's true. You're not wrong. Everybody does have a price. My dad used to say, before he died, he used to say the same thing, right? Everybody has a price, but if your price doesn't have enough zeros, you need to really, really reconsider your life choices. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. John Cena is also an actor who lives broke at a higher level, like so many celebrities do, where it's like, oh my gosh, how much do they get paid for that movie? And it's like, dude, do you know how much their alimony is? Do you know how much their child support is? When you earn $10 million for a movie, do you know how much the courts go after you for when things don't work out between you and your spouse? Yeah, you're left with like the shirt on your back. It's bad news for people like that. John Cleese, for example, that guy, he would have to do any movie that ever came his way for the rest of his life. Because apparently he has like 2 or 3 ex-wives that just like, that own everything. Like, he owns nothing. John Cleese is functionally broke. So yeah, just the fact that you know somebody's name doesn't mean, like, because they're a celebrity, doesn't mean they own anything. So you're not wrong. Yeah, you can people get put into really bad positions like that. So, all right, guys, this is our proof of stake smart contract side of the portfolio right now. And it looks like Binance Coin is it's the only one treading water from these top coins here. Below that, Kusama is our first loser, and ICP is our biggest loser. Oh, snap. Oh, how does it keep on hemorrhaging more value? Oh, because it's still $44. So bring popcorn, gents. We can keep watching this continue to spiral downward. Looks like Polygon Matic again is still below that $1.40 mark. And I'm still kind of confused by that. Saw in the chat earlier on that fees are up just a little bit on Polygon. They're up a lot actually on Polygon relative to where they were before, but utilization is also pretty darn high on Polygon, to the point that you have, for example, who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Animoca, right? So the studio that is responsible for like the Rev NFT video game, a lot of the pay to play or play to earn NFT games. You've got studios like Animoca and others that are trying to encourage their partners all to mint on Polygon because they can bridge back over to Ethereum, right? They've got a relatively good working system there. Now, is Polygon a true layer 2 scaling solution? No, not. But nobody cares. Like, straight up, nobody cares. That's precisely why people are like doing crazy things on Solana and on Avalanche and other stuff. But yeah, so Polygon though is getting that throughput. So you have large studios like Animoca that are trying to get all of their partnerships onto Polygon, it seems, or they've got a lot of partnerships that are using Polygon and offering their NFTs and a lot of their other tokens on Polygon, because if you're doing play to earn and you're trying to reward, say, like multiple thousand players in real time on the network, on chain, then you can't go spending $70 per mint or per transfer, right, on Ethereum layer 1. That's just not practical. And the thought that these groups will definitely be able to somehow get all of their transactions entered into a block by a third party, or even on their own reconnaissance, like somehow get all of their transactions put into a block with zero fees. Nah, man, historically it hasn't happened. They're like CryptoKitties got wrecked trying to do this for the most part. And now these newer studios too, they're not going to be able to make it all work on a regular basis. You have to be a little more tactical and decide like, okay, I want to get this specific tranche of transactions put onto this particular block. But if it's real time and it's on demand and you got international players all the way around the world, the tokenomics never sleep. So these groups, they have to figure out how to make it work. Hey, Bitcoin Jake for the win. Oh my gosh, how did I miss that a second ago? So he's got that status update from Bobby Lee. Thank you. I'm like going crazy here trying to think of Charlie Lee's brother's name. So dumb. Got a name, but he runs the Ballet crypto wallet. Let me bring this up on screen. Yes, I want to go to that site. I want to go to there. Do it. There it goes. Yep. June 2nd, 2020. I'm looking forward to the Cybertruck. I predict you can buy it with just one Bitcoin. If it exceeds 39,000 by late 2021, I'll give away a free Tesla Cybertruck to one lucky person who likes and retweets this. Yes, I'm serious. Yeah. So there it is. And there's Pomp. Got his channel deleted. I don't get it. I don't know why Pomp got deleted, man. Here's the thing. You don't have to follow a certain person in the space. You don't have to follow certain voices in the space to like wish them well, right? Like, I don't know Pomp personally. I don't owe him any favors. He doesn't owe me any favors. He doesn't need me to wish him well, but like, I don't want to see him lose his channel. It's kind of disappointing. It's kind of scary in a way, right? Don't want to see that happening. But that was the one. Let's see. Ooh. And then there was another one that Bitcoin Jake pulled up. Let's see what we got here. And did I just like, oh, yep, no, I just repeated it. All right. So, yep, there it is though. Yeah, there it is. Talking about giving away a Cybertruck by late 2021. And it was mentioned in the chat. I forget who it was. Maybe it was Gordon Murray who said that it's not being delivered yet. Yep, that it's not being delivered yet. He's got a deposit on one. So maybe in the future that will be an option. But yeah, so kind of interesting, guys. Yeah, a lot of people talk big in this space and then may or may not deliver. Yeah, Bitcoin Foundation. Do we need it? Do we want it? I don't know. Maybe if they're good at advocacy, if they've actually made any progress on Capitol Hill and improved the situation in the United States, at least, to try to give a better framework for other countries around the world for the usage of Bitcoin, maybe they've been worth it. Ballet Crypto, not always the biggest fan of their work. I've looked at some of their wallets and I don't know that it's the direction I would go. But yeah, probably a good actor if he can make good on this little thing here. Yes, I'm serious. Retweet. So yeah, there it is. I said he didn't make good on it yet. I mean, as mentioned in the chat, it's just not an option yet, but it hasn't been followed up on yet either. So we'll see. Oh my gosh. All right, what do we got here? Comments coming in. The Deadwood says, show some love. Smash the thumbs up. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. Every little bit there does help. The algorithm is trying to figure out whether or not we're all good guys or bad guys, and it's trying to prejudge us, like in the Minority Report, figuring out whether or not you're a criminal before you ever even set foot outside your home. So, just give it a thumbs up, and then they'll know I'm a good guy. It's really that simple, right? Those crazy floating people in that pool won't see me commit any crimes if you give me a thumbs up. Science. So Alex Burton asks, Mind Your Biz, is all this interoperability, does this make a good case for Chainlink? Well, I don't know if it makes a good case for Chainlink. I don't know. Not really sure. Right? Like, Chainlink is inherently useful in its own way, to the extent that it's useful. I don't know that interoperability makes Chainlink more useful. I think that if people choose to use Chainlink, it's as useful as it ever was. And if there are competitors to Chainlink, it helps the ecosystem more for there to be competitors to it, in my opinion. Just what I'm saying. All right. Yeah, Bitcoin Jake says that the Ballet paper wallet is trash in his opinion. $100 deposit means easy money. Nice. Painkiller busts out some quotes. I am the law. I need to start doing a quote board or something like what is it? What is the name of that? Oh, what is it? It's one of the they do the CinemaSins show on YouTube. In a world where Judas Priest has boobs. I can't even do it. My voice is so tired right now. In a world where I am the law. I'm not even going to try anymore. I'm actually my voice is very, very tired today. It's been a long day. Long voice day. Rodrigo says, Judge Dredd. That's right. You got it. It's Judge Dredd. All right, so that's old news there. Let's go back to our portfolios real fast. Internet Computer Protocol, down in the dumps. We'll leave it down there. Automated liquidity. Time to take a look. And it looks like Hex is still there. It still exists. Shiba Inu is in the number 2 spot at over 200% up. Power up. Alex Burton says, Mind Your Biz, Bitcoin. What? BitBoy has a quote board on ATB. You should green screen that. Hey, yeah, probably. Yes, something like that. Hyperburn is in number 3. DYDX is above the break-even point. Let's see where that line is. It's ample fourth. PancakeSwap is below the break-even mark. Then it's Uniswap, Sushi, and XSushi, Thorchain, Dragon's Quick, and Quick. Unfortunately, it looks like there's a little bit of downward price movement there over the last week. Probably more pronounced than what the 7-day is saying there again, because we saw a little bit of a pumpening on a lot of coins, and then a downward channel on a lot of coins right now. So don't know what the main coin is that's doing that. And Ample Fourth doing a Bart Simpson this week. Check it out. Look at that. Bart Simpson with a little cowlick. That's awesome. Yeah, Gordon Murray says Shiba Inu is being day traded AF. You got that right, friend. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Shiba Inu just went insane. I can't believe that it continued to move up the way that it did. I was on the BitBoys channel when it was at about $12 billion. I'm looking at stuff like that and just thinking, like, you're going to exhaust the market. How do you get a 10x on a coin like that, right? Like seriously? $100 billion for a coin like that? Nah, no way. No, that's not an option. If we had fully mature and like fully diluted and like very fully diluted market caps for all these coins in an extremely mature ecosystem where we had many, many trillions of dollars, sure, under those circumstances. But this ain't it. Nah, not today. Not today. Yeah. $100 billion Shiba Inu just does not make sense in this universe. Alex Burton says, Bitcoin equals either too much whiskey or not enough whiskey. I let you decide. That's awesome. Well, here's the thing, guys. When you ask me, it's always like, if there's any amount involved, it's always too much. So for me, it's always too little, right? It's the opposite, where it's like, why did he make that mistake? It's definitely too little whiskey. Next time, maybe I'll get the right amount. Anything above 0, like one mole of whiskey, right? Like in a microscopic measurement, and just rub it into my skin, right? And transdermally absorb it. And we've got more whiskey than before. So yeah, guys, this is why I don't do drugs either. I legit don't need them. But you already knew that. So yeah, that's our That's our automated liquidity portfolio, guys. It's looking pretty good though. 24-hour change, we're up 7%, and the total P&L is up almost 70%. So this portfolio is pretty strong, though it's got a couple of really strong performers in it, right? So when you got multiple coins that are doing 100% up, then yeah. Alex Burton brings up a great point there, also saying Doge took years to get to its level. Shiba Inu took months to get to this moonshot. That's a bad sign for a pump and dump. LOL. Yeah, I agree. It's a bad sign for the market overall. And it's bringing really unsophisticated traders into this. But like at the same time, like, you know, we can look over at these brand new TikTok traders who are aping into Shiba Inu and just like, you know, ye who are about to die, we salute you, right? Like, thanks for taking arrows for us, really. That's kind of all we can say to these people who just will not hear that some of these coins are gonna leave them wrecked. On that note, let's take a look at Doge real quick. Got Samuel Redden saying, thankful for Mind Your Biz. Hey, thank you for saying that. That's a very kind thing to say, man. Appreciate that. You know, we put on the antics. It's a bit theatrical, put on a show here, but trying to share stuff that's of value too. So appreciate that. Hope that this is helping to reach a side of your crypto understanding that is meaningful and helps you make better choices. That really is the intent at the end of the day. So with the ASIC portfolio here, where did Doge end up? What? There it is. Third to last, currently at 22 cents. And I'm always curious to see how it compares in our CPU mining portfolio to Wownero, which is currently at 48 cents. It's more than double Doge. Oh yeah. So let's go back over to our automated liquidity, which might not be the perfect match for this, but Shiba Inu is currently at, oh, that's right. It's at fractions of a fraction of a penny. Okay, right. It cannot even approach a single penny, because if it did, right, 10x, getting it to not a tenth of a penny, but a hundredth of a penny, getting it to a hundredth of a penny, moving up that order of magnitude would move this market cap up an order of magnitude, making this hundreds of billions of dollars, or minimum to get to that one, right? To just cross over that, flip that zero into a one. We're looking at, roughly four times this. So we'd be looking at nearing $50 billion in market cap to get to the point where this flips into a one. So not a tenth of a penny, but a hundredth of a penny for Shiba Inu. If it can go to a hundredth of a penny, then you are the luckiest person in this universe. It's like you just witnessed, you picked up a 4-leaf clover while there was a double rainbow and a solar eclipse shooting through that double rainbow through the sky, and you happened to see a unicorn flying through the double rainbow. Like, good for you. Take the money and run. Don't hold on to that coin any longer than that. I will give that much admonition. I won't call it advice, but with Shiba Inu, this is a dangerous game here. Gordon Murray says it really well in the comment section, saying they will be more wrecked than the Dogecoin creator that bought a Honda Civic. LOL. Yeah, Jackson Palmer is a very wrecked individual. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but yeah, in crypto terms, ultra wrecked. Rodrigo says, Maestro, where do you recommend to trade with leverage for someone that comes from spot multiverse? Ooh. Well, thank you for asking. I'm going to let some of the chat comment on that question, because that's what we do here, right? When we're live, we got dozens of people here who are extremely intelligent, very bright. They know the space very, very well. I just happen to be on camera, right? So that's why the comments are on screen, because I want everybody to be able to chime in here. And we've got phenomenal people chiming in. So they're going to help also. For my part, I do not like trading with leverage. Leverage trading, for anybody who is not extremely well-versed in markets and knowing how to do this carefully with really good risk management and really good money management, is a fast way to lose all of your money, either overnight, like when you're asleep and you hit like a stop loss and you get liquidated, or like rather you get liquidated because of your position, or you hit a stop loss, and then it winds up being manipulation from a larger player in the space, like somebody jumping into the pool and like liquidating everybody because they've been able to displace so much. Yeah, I do not feel confident talking about leverage trading. I don't feel comfortable even making it seem like I endorse leverage trading. I view it as a very, very dangerous thing. And there may be people out there who know what they're doing with it and who can learn good strategies, but I don't know any good strategies to share. So maybe that's the fairest way to put it, right? It's not so much that like maybe not everybody gets wrecked, but it seems like better than 50% of the people who try it get wrecked. So like the odds are better that you will do well by picking good fundamental projects to dollar cost average into. Again, guys, I can't stress it enough. There's a reason that the Bitcoin logo became part of my logo, that the official Bitcoin emoji became part of my logo. It's something that under most circumstances, I can dollar cost average into Bitcoin and feel great about that decision. I don't lose sleep. My wife doesn't get angry at me or anxious about where those fiat dollars are going, and we don't worry about the future there. Leverage trading, I'm very concerned about. Bitcoin Jake says, if you have no emotion, leverage is easy. LOL. Sure. I believe that. But I see a lot of people who, even without emotion, just make mistakes, not based on emotion. They just make a clerical error, or they make some kind of a mistake in their plans, right? Or in their charts. They just don't factor some things in. Or they make all the best plans in the world, but they don't pay attention to some of the other sentiment factors, right? So while they try to like play it cool and not have emotion, they don't pay attention to somebody else who is losing their cool, who could move the market. So yeah, that's why for my part, guys, I can't in good conscience discuss leverage trading without just saying, I think that I should warn you. It's very dangerous. That's as much as I can talk about it. I don't know enough about it. So not knowing enough, I know that I shouldn't engage in it. And if there's somebody watching who's like wondering, should I get into leverage trading? Then if you're following this channel, my answer is no, you probably shouldn't. You probably shouldn't. If you're following this channel, then no. If you're drawn to channels that know how to do that and actually have a track record and aren't just trying to pretend to be good at leverage trading so they can build a following, then maybe, but it always begs the question, if they're really that good at leverage trading, why are they on YouTube showing it off? Their competitive advantage would be in keeping that to themselves, right? So there's an inverse incentive to sharing your alpha with when it comes to leverage trading, and even in giving like trading calls, right? When it comes to leverage trading, you have some large channels who just like, one of the things I really respect about Wendy, Crypto Wendio, she's come around to just saying like, hey, do your own research, don't get wrecked, but also like, I will dump on you. Like straight up, I'm just going to tell you, if you hear me talk to you about an early gem, I'm probably dumping on you, and I'm not going to apologize, but I'll give you strategies to prevent yourself from getting hurt. So yeah. I kind of respect that in a big way, where she's just telling people like, yeah, like she's a high level influencer who has over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And that means that big projects are going to come and give her early pre-sale allocations and incentives and payments and all kinds of like reasons to maybe work with them if she wants to. So for her to just like openly disclose, like when that happens, I will take profit, and that will represent me dumping on someone somewhere. And it's probably you if you're watching, right? So that's part of that game. Just be aware of that. But when she talks about like leverage or whatever else, she talks like in very general terms. She doesn't give people like, okay, this is the signal, buy now, sell now. And then like watch people get wrecked. Cause I just think it's evil. Martin asks, are you still involved in Chia? No, I'm not. I try not to even be involved in Chia from the commentary standpoint, but from a commentary perspective. Cause I don't want, I don't want people to think that I'm like, I've got it in for them, right? Or like I'm trying to like pick on the project, or like I'm trying to like shill the project either. So no, not at all involved in Chia, not one bit. But appreciate you asking me straightforwardly. Guys, those are our portfolios. Let's take a quick look outside of Equilibria, outside of Ethereum, outside of all the other cool stuff like, handshake domains, which, again, I don't understand why that hasn't improved the price a little bit. Gordon Murray Bram enters the chat. Bro, it's been known to happen, right? Weirdest of things. Let's see. Alex says EMC VNX 5300 180 terabyte cluster for $500. Yeah, I am in Chia. That's cool, man. That's a great price for 180 terabyte cluster. That's great. Not bad at all. I mean, like, I wouldn't mind having something like that just for general use, right? Like as a media creator, like for some other reasons. But cool. Back here on our trading view chart, our chopsticks, how did they do? Quite well, it would seem. Quite well. Let's zoom in on these chopsticks to see how our ascending triangle played out. We were pretty damn close, boys and girls. I'm going to say that. Yeah, pardon my use of the dadgum D word, but like we got in pretty close to snapping up that peak. It looks like we're seeing a little bit of a reversal though. Looks like it's getting rejected at 57,000. And I'm not offering any kind of like technical analysis here or whatever, but we did experience a cross back upward. I don't know that we had fully seen that like really fully play out just yet. I'm sure actually no, it had, but we stopped getting rejected on the golden cross. Right, so it's crossed back up, and it looks like we're back in that mode of like bull mode above. Maybe we start to see it bounce off of the 200 day at that point. So, but this is exciting to see that our chopsticks worked out this time. I don't pretend to know all of what's going to happen here, but even a broken clock gets it right twice a day. So our chopsticks worked out. It's great. It's always fun. Now I have to just like take screenshots of this, go put it on Twitter and say, I was right. You should follow my paid group right now. The cost to enter is only 3 ETH, but don't worry. I'll help you earn 30 in no time. Just kidding. If I ever do that, please subtweet me. Be like, Seth is evil. What have you done with the person formerly known as Seth? But our chopsticks, we were okay. We almost snapped the top there. That's exciting. Looks like it is a reversal right there. And yeah, what does that mean? I mean, like the MACD is not, it's not flipping. No, actually looks like it is flipping bearish right now. So a little bit of a reversal right there. Got to start, like, I think I got to start actually putting in that time to learning RSI and MACD, like how to use it well, right? And then also I'm interested in either like trend-based fib or just like some kind of a fib tool so that we can actually set levels to see like, okay, cool, let's get some expectations going here as to like what has recently happened. So maybe we can have some sense for targets, right? Based on fib levels. That I think is a good logical next step for me, in addition to seeing some of those other indicators and trying to figure that out. But right now, the 250 day looks like we were seeing a reversal there in the 50 day. And we're seeing the reversal just in the candlesticks right there on our 2 hour chart. So very likely a bit of a reversal. Who knows how long we keep this 57, right? Or this mid 50s level. Maybe we do come back down to retest the underside of this new channel, but it's exciting to see Bitcoin up so high. I'm still anxious, guys. I am just me, right? Just from a macro view, just from a fundamental view, I'm still anxious. And just from a sentiment view, I'm still anxious that we're living here in extreme greed when just a week and a half ago, it was extreme fear. Like it wasn't even in between. It was extreme. And to see that massive, like boomerang upward, I really do feel like some aspect of that boomerang is going to return. Maybe we've been seeing that in alts. And so to take a look at CoinGecko right here, we see our Bitcoin dominance is over 40% again. So yeah, maybe that's totally accurate, is that we're just seeing it bleed out of alts. And so maybe that's where the boomerang effect is happening. So yeah, that could absolutely be the problem that everyone's dealing with right now as far as the sentiment moving up so fast. That said, yeah, maybe this is going to bifurcate. Maybe we're just going to see that sentiment for one category kind of shifts, where right now there's a huge affinity for Bitcoin and it's got the highest dominance, but then we see it reverse. Apparently, something like exactly 29 days after Bitcoin hits its all-time high at every one of the market cycles, at least for every market cycle that Ethereum has been around as an asset, apparently 29 days afterwards, Ethereum hits its all-time high too, or something, right? Like, so maybe we'll see a reversal and we'll see a couple more of these like sort of like pumpeting, right? Like, let's see these waves upward, right? Until we hit the whatever the blow off top is. And I do think now, based on this whole Shiba Inu nonsense and people kind of like aping in with dumb money into the markets, I'm becoming more and more convinced that we are going to see something like a blow off top at the end of this market, where it is going to be like a tragic end to a lot of people who are involved, where they're like, oh my gosh, everything's going so high, like massive euphoria. Bitcoin is whatever the price like gets to, whether it's like 80 or 100 or 150K or like 200K or whatever. Like they're going to be riding this euphoria and just not have any clue that the end is like right there. They're super close to it and just get like slingshotted like right off the top of this blow off top. And then we'll see like alts kind of like also do the same thing, right? Like match a similar fractal pattern where it's like, boom, blow off top for alts too. And they get wrecked on that one also, right? Where it's like, oh, well, at least I can fall back to my Shiba Inu. And their Shiba Inu goes like down till, you know, by 2 orders of magnitude, right? So it's like 90% of its value from when they bought in. So I am seeing, with just based on some of the like TikTok trader behavior, I don't know, man. I'm worried. I'm worried for the kids. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't know, guys. Am I wrong? Is that messed up? I'm acting like a boomer. Tell me in the comments. I should probably call it a night. Let's go ahead and flash that chart on the screen one more time. See if we need to make any adjustments here. I don't really think that we do. I mean, based on what's happening so far, the likelihood of retracing all the way back into this, like, who knows? It seems unlikely, but pretty strong pumping right now in Bitcoin. I think, yeah, maybe this is their run up towards that blow off top. Maybe we do see a bit of a replay of 2017, right? And we don't see the truest of the alt seasons coming in after Bitcoin until we start to approach that biggest that highest momentum move towards the blow off top. Maybe. Because I'm not even going to pretend, right? Like I don't ever pretend like this like super well thought out fundamental or macro analysis or whatever. It's just like, you know, for those of us who were there and watched it happen and have kind of looked a little bit at it from before, some of the fractal pattern and like the rainbow chart and stuff, it's like, okay, cool. Well, maybe, you know, you overlay this onto that and it kind of looks like it fits. So yeah, it kind of looks like it fits. So that's where all that sentiment comes from. It's not me like pretending to be super in-depth analysis. You know what's great? Oh my gosh. Let me turn on potato vision. Ooh, potato vision. All right, cool. There you go, guys. There we go. Hold on. Come here, potato vision. Looks good. Potato. With that, guys, why don't I show you our chart one more time? Chopsticks look like they're in place. Not going to replace those until we come back on Wednesday night. Guys, appreciate you being here all the way to the end of the video, hitting the thumbs up button, sharing this video, and this potato right here. You know, you can share this potato. Thanks for being here to the end of the video. Thanks for being subscribed. Thanks for smashing all the buttons. There you go, baked potato. And, well, I mean, really, you guys are awesome. Appreciate all the chats. Appreciate you guys blowing up the chat, making it awesome, answering questions, asking questions. This is so much fun. You're the reason to make this media. I love your face. Remember to stay private. Eat potatoes. Get them out of the way. And mind your biz. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Be sure to check out mineyourbiz, where you can sign up for our email newsletter, where we're still ramping up content, but you will occasionally receive specials for flash sales and all kinds of other deals that we have going on the site. You can also check out our services page where we offer consulting to projects that need it. You can pick up the Freedom Phone, which respects your privacy. You can pay for it in crypto and have it shipped to you anonymously, as well as getting merchandise that also is paid for with crypto. That's right, we practice what we preach, including, well, a Flux swag page. That's right. It's a dedicated page just for the team over at Flux Network because we love them that much. Thanks for watching to the end. Thanks for being subscribed. You know I love your face. Be sure to stay private and mind your biz.